Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
There we go. Hello everybody, welcome to another show of Alpha Pro Series, the Elite format. Today we have two great players for us waiting in the, how do you call it, where the race horses stand. But then I guess it's gaming seats. They're in their gaming seats right now. And yeah, INnoVation versus soO. Truly top notch, in fact. And of course I am joined once again by the one, the only Mr. Matisse. Mr. Matisse, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, hello guys. I'm coach. I've been making my living from coaching, I guess, already kinda like 5 years or something. So yeah, I figured it would be nice to cast these games. I would watch them anyway, right? So why not give casting a try? And it's really fun together with cousins. So I'm feeling good about this.
Nice, that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let me get everybody in the lobby here. You as well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little compliment there. By the way. Thank you. Alright, so let's get Azure Rush. I'm not sure if he has his... There he is. Okay, there he is. I'm here, you're here.
Okay.
Right, that's perfect. A lot of casters actually. We have 3 different languages today, so... we have Taiwanese, we have the Spanish, right? That's Enki. And then us in English. So there's 3 different languages today. Not Korean though, unfortunately. Maybe that's something we need to look into at one point. Since we are casting a lot of Korean players, that would make sense. Let me just make some... There we go. Okay, let's see. soO and INnoVation, are they ready? It's a best of 9, of course.
Yeah, we had pretty epic game last week, right? And today we also have epic show match, I think, soon. Yep. INnoVation. This is gonna be pretty good. Even though they might not be in their best form of their lives, they're still one of the scariest players in this matchup, I would say.
For sure, for sure. And like on a good day, they can still bring it to any player out there, right? They can still beat anyone, honestly.
Yeah, INnoVation beat Serral in IM Katowice last year, for example, right?
Exactly.
So, and in macro games, so that's well. Really not easy.
Yeah. So soO kind of should be the easier opponent, perhaps, for him. But
well, you know, I mean, in mid game, soO is also very, very beastly. He's super fast. He does counter attacks and many other things. So I wouldn't absolutely count him out.
All right. I think you're pretty spot on the money there. Yeah, exactly. soO, definitely a different beast in the mid game. It's really where his just his game shines most of all. But anyway, you wanna do an introduction here already, or you want me to do both again, or?
Okay, let's try one.
All right.
In the bottom right corner, we have blue Zerg. It's soO.
There he is.
And in the top left, red Terran, it's INnoVation.
Alright. There we go. Do we know what team INnoVation is on right now? I know soO is on the Freaka Freaks, right? The Freaks. INnoVation, I'm not completely sure out of the top of my head. Kind of putting you on the spot here.
He's in the team Kaizi, but I don't know too much about this team actually.
Kaizi. Yeah, me neither, honestly.
Is it maybe it's Chinese team or something?
I would assume so, but then again, like INnoVation, he does seem like one of those players that would still be able to get on a Korean team as well. Not saying that the Chinese teams are worse, but you know.
Well, I
So,
think
like,
they,
I should pick them
from
up.
what I heard, they are very rich. Actually, they invest a lot in StarCraft as well. So probably INnoVation got quite good deal with them since he went there, I think.
That makes sense. Okay. So, what are your predictions for this one, actually?
That's really hard one to predict, honestly. Oh, we have soO going for pool first, and INnoVation is not really scouting with early SCV.
Does have a Reaper already, but
Yeah. So this might be a surprise. Reaper might not be able to intercept the links. It usually shouldn't, but it
looks like
might.
it will. Oh, he didn't see them. Oh
You
my
didn't
god, he
see
didn't
them?
notice.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so this is actually pretty bad for INnoVation. It's not a huge deal, but it's two links that they might actually. Wow, it's there's one Marine already. So let's see. It should not really do too much actually. I think with good micro and SCV, yeah, he's not gonna even get anything.
Yeah. Was that even worth it then for going with only the 2 links? It seems like very minimal of an investment to get something done here, but I suppose.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this allowed soO to take a third base very easily, right? Because
Yeah.
there was no Reaper distracting, a drone. So I think it was mostly the goal of these two links to just pull Reaper back and then just take a third very easily. And right now we have a normal macro game. So it was just tiny pressure, slowed down soO a tiny bit, but then sped him up because he took a third. So everything is good. It looks fine.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Coming in with that Overlord now as well. Let's see if he gets a glimpse of that, anything really. Not really. Just the one guess.
It seems gonna get denied. soO doesn't want to lose the Overlord. It's 100 minerals after all. But, information about what's coming, sometimes it's worth 100 minerals, I would say, right? There's Fusion Core on the way. And you kinda want to know what's coming, right?
Do you think he was maybe a little bit too quick with that Overlord timing, actually? Oh my god, the Link sees everything.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
Well, that was worth it, definitely.
that's only 25 minerals right there, so... Yeah, I mean, if 100 minerals is worth it, 25 is for sure, and immediately as a response we're seeing the Roach Warren being thrown down by soO. Gonna ramp up the aggression here.
Well, it could be also defensive Roach Warren. Usually Battlecruiser is being played with mech, so he just wants to be safe. And right now he has no units whatsoever, so okay, there's 8 Link coming. These Hellions might actually do a little bit. There's not enough links to hold this.
Oh boy, yeah. The Queen is also not that high in numbers here. The drones not being split very quickly either. A lot of them burning up. 11 already going down. That's gonna go up to 17 workers.
Oh
Ouch!
my god.
Somebody get the first aid kit here. soO is.
Oh my god.
He's got some severe sunburn, and
Yep.
I mean that might just cause him to go into an aggression now, though, right? You think? Oh no, he's still making drones. He's just gonna.
Yeah, he's trying to catch up, but it's definitely behind. With this opening, Terran has to kill quite a bit SCVs actually, especially since drones, especially since he sacrificed these Hellions. So it's not like it's game over, but soO is extremely behind, I would say. Normally Terran wants to kill around 10, maybe 12 workers with this, and he killed 17, so I would say definitely Terran is ahead and in a very comfortable position.
Not to mention that the Battlecruiser now as well gonna have a follow-up here. The Spire only just now in production. Just started out. 3 Queens should be enough for 1 Battlecruiser, right? Especially if there's 3 other ones on the low ground here. It should be okay.
Yeah, but is there another BC coming? Yes, it is, and we'll see whether he researches Yamato Cannon soon. So, right, oh my god, there's still 13 being killed right now.
How did he find that one? I guess, well, all the Queens were in the main base there. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, that's partially what Battlecruiser is for. It's supposed to pull the Queens out, so then Hellions can deal quite a lot of damage in other areas, because Queens are usually the thing that defends Hellions. So if Queens are not present, then suddenly Hellions have free pass to roast as much as they can.
This is true, yeah. And well, that definitely worked out in this case as well. It feels like soO maybe left open the front hall. I'm kind of disappointed in myself that we didn't manage to see exactly what those Hellions ran by, because usually you would still keep at least something there. He had the Roach Warren. Should have been able to have a couple of Roaches perhaps, but maybe just because he lost so many drones at the start, he decided to kind of full go extra defenses like those.
Yeah, I think you kinda need something like 3 Zerglings per 1 Hellion, at minimum 2 Zerglings per 1 Hellion, and initially soO had 8 Links versus 6 Hellions, so it was just simply not enough, and INnoVation managed to just punish greed of soO, right? So this means that, you know, a lesson for future, get more Links, simple as that.
Now 2 Battlecruisers flying over all these queens. Very quickly going down here. A lot of them burning, and wow, okay, well, I mean, Corruptors are on the way. 3 Corruptors are out right now. I think he needs a few more, 6 more on the production tab. He's gonna be able to zone these out, but again, taking 4 worker losses, and 2 Corruptors as well.
Yeah, everything is going absolutely perfectly for INnoVation so far. And I would say this is very, very tough for soO. I don't really know what are his chances right now. Maybe if he comes super, super hard and on spellcasters and then manages to Neural Parasite every single battle cruiser and also abduct or blinding cloud every single tank in the fight in 2-3 minutes, then maybe that's his chance. But otherwise, I don't think even INnoVation is gonna let him. He's moving out.
Yeah.
And this is looking very, very bad for soO, I think.
It really is. Alright, in he comes with just a handful of roaches. Honestly, not even that. It's like a fingerful of roaches here. There's nothing here, honestly, really to hold back this attack, as it would appear.
The army of soO consists of 4 morphing Ravagers right now and 7 Zerglings. So I don't see this beating, you know, tanks and battle cruisers and everything.
Yeah. So what do you think about the mech play transition out of the battle cruisers? Is it necessary to always go for the battle mech in between, kind of as an in-between state before going for the siege tanks and the Hellions and Stalls and stuff?
I think so. Tanks are necessary to survive some kind of all-in with Corruptor, Roach, Ravager, but Cyclones are something you want to help. You want them to just pin Zerg down a little bit, right? So I would say so. It depends how you scout, whether you feel safe or not. And I think soO is going for an all-in. Kind of the all-in I was talking about. The Roach Ravager link into Corruptor is very, very powerful push, but this only works if you are doing this off of good economy and good early game. If you got so behind as soO did, there's no chance that it's gonna work at all.
Yeah, you might be able to get this base, but or at least force it to lift up, cancel it from being a planetary, but it doesn't even look like that's gonna happen as the battle cruisers are chasing down the roaches. The roaches are slowly trying to whittle away at this planetary, but not even getting it on half HP here. Oof, that is a rough one. Nidus Worm though with Swarm Host, it's a bit of a desperation play, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a main reason why you would want Cyclones in mid game, because tanks are very vulnerable to Swarm Host, and then also Corruptors can take out or at least neutralize battle cruisers. So you end up in a situation where you have mass tanks versus the Swarm Host, and that's pretty bad for Terran. So that's why you always want a little bit of Cyclones at least, so that you can, you know, fight, try to find the Swarm Hosts and stuff like that, right? But also, if you are so ahead, like INnoVation is, you don't really need those Cyclones that much. You're gonna be fine against Swarm Hosts either way. This is only 6 Swarm Hosts. Now it's 10, but it's super late. It's 11-minute mark, and Swarm Hosts are very snowbally units. They need to deal damage early on. Right now, it's just too late for them, pretty much.
It does feel like that. He needs to keep INnoVation busy on his own base for a really long time to still gain the value out of those units. And,
definitely, but I don't think INnoVation is gonna let him. I think he's gonna max out and move out again, and I don't think soO has any chance to stop this kind of push then. Unless he really deals a lot of damage with Swarm Hosts, and manages to distract INnoVation long enough. But it seems there is sensor tower, so he seems to see everything. And new Thors are surprisingly good against flying locks nowadays.
That makes sense, actually. Quicker shooting, one-shotting those things still. So if you are soO, what would you think is more important for him right now, right? Should he try to target down economy, or should he try to just keep targeting down with the locust army units here?
Yeah, I would say definitely army units, because there is imminent threat of dying right now as soO. And if you manage to whittle down tank count, for example, which is kinda low, then Roach Ravager Swarmhost can actually deal with this army. Thors are not so good against Roach Ravager. So if you kill all the tanks, or at least half the tanks or something, then there might be tiny chance for soO survival right now.
Okay. There he goes. The front door has been kicked in here. INnoVation looking like he wants to really push forwards. The Ravager's trying to keep a little bit of a distance between the siege tanks and the bases here. The Swarmhosts still need more time to really get all that locust back in their backs pockets. It's nice that he did kill off all the Hellbats, but in come the battle cruisers as well. Kind of forgot about those, but they're still here, still on menace.
INnoVation did a really nice move, so he attacked with them to the natural, then Corruptors got baited to attack the battle cruisers, and then he teleported them back on top of their army. And right now Thors are gonna clean up every single Corruptor. However, there was very low tank count, as I said, and suddenly soO seems to be, I mean, well, he's not in good position, but he's still surviving, which is kind of surprising for me.
Yeah, it really is. If you're INnoVation, you know what? I would say that he has to retreat in this situation. A lot of red HP bars there, and if he can repair those, that would be quite beneficial, I'd say. Although behind this, he is taking 2 more bases, it looks like. So overall, if he can make that work, perhaps it's not going to matter too much anyway.
Yeah, on the other hand, it's slightly difficult to retreat from position like this when you pack up all your tanks and start retreating, especially since soO has vision, because he has creep tumors there. Yeah, he's gonna just jump on top of the Terran army, right? And yeah, let's see. I think INnoVation is pushing forward though, because he's maxed out again, so
yeah,
he doesn't think about retreating at all. And there's a lot of tanks this time, so he seems to be doing fine, although, well, it was still 4 or 5 tanks, and the critical mass of tanks is something like 8, 10, 12. With this kind of number, then suddenly, you know, entire Zerg army evaporates. While this is just 5 tanks, it's still somewhat okay for Terran, for Zerg, but I mean, there's just numbers game. I think INnoVation just look at the economy, 5 bases, and Zerg is essentially on 3.5. So.
To be fair, that was without soO actually having his locust there either. They did try to take out a base there, but I'm just wondering, like, if those locusts were there as well, he may have cleaned up this army a little bit quicker. Not sure that though. It does feel like he has to do economic damage as well though, so it was a valiant effort.
Yeah, ZvT is a weird matchup because it's actually very difficult to kill each other. It's difficult to kill a Terran as a Zerg, and it's difficult to kill a Zerg camped on creep and everything, right? So this game, you know, I don't want to kill hype or anything, but it's pretty much over for the last couple of minutes, I would say. But soO is still holding on. I mean, we've seen insane comebacks last week, so I'm not saying this is completely over, but there's very slim chance actually soO has, you know, in this game, I would say.
We'll have to pay attention to it. I mean, the army supply is still kind of equal, though, to be fair, if you're playing with roaches against siege tanks and Thors, that's a dangerous game, having equal army supply or near equal army supply.
Yeah, but exactly, roaches are very supply inefficient, and Swarmhosts are as well, right? So I would say the only problem in this game for INnoVation is just his lack of tanks. Okay, Thors are nice, they're insanely good against Broodlords, Corruptors and stuff. But they're not so good against roaches, not so good against locusts, and not so good against ravagers. So why is he really building them? Is he maybe he's expecting Broodlord switch already, but soO has no money for that, right? And now he manages to even catch him unsieged. And maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe soO is planning some kind of comeback here.
I'm sure that he's planning it. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it, though. But yeah, I really do think that he is expecting, like you said, those Broodlords. I mean, we've seen the Corruptors, but then to be fair, like soO, he's known to not really be the late game army style composition of Zerg, right? He likes to stay on this mid game, so maybe INnoVation just misreading his opponent here a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. But basically, in mid-game, the best unit that Terran has are tanks. There's huge engagement right now, and then again, we have 6 tanks in this fight, and suddenly it seems like soO, okay, this time he didn't manage to clean this up. But this was very decisive. Okay, that's GG.
There it is.
There it is, finally.
Man, he still made it rather close, though, to be fair. It was closer than I thought he should have been able to make that after losing, well, 17 workers twice in a row there. So yeah, it is just very interesting in considering as to what really went wrong there for INnoVation, because, you know, I'm saying what went wrong for him, even though most of the things went pretty great, but it felt like the game just dragged on too long for the advantage that he managed to take in the early game.
Yeah, but you know, mech is late game oriented composition, right? So you don't really have good tools to just randomly kill someone when you got ahead, you know?
Yeah.
As a mech, you kind of want to get ahead by getting more ahead, and that's what INnoVation did. So that's kind of why. And also soO was putting up really nice fight, especially since he focused very heavily on mid-game units, so that prolonged his, you know, life, but didn't really allow him to fight mech on even footing, right? You need Vipers for that, you need maybe Lurkers, maybe Broodlords and stuff like that, right? And he wasn't even thinking about getting those units, right? So it was just basically prolonging the game, not really taking into anything particularly good.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Suppose if he did stay on Battle Mech for a little bit longer, but then like that would just give a bigger opportunity perhaps as well for INnoVation to still make it a game and make a comeback happen here.
Well, he went for Swarm Host, so they wouldn't probably be that good as they were anyway against Battle Mech. So after losing 34 workers like this, mathematically against a player as good as INnoVation, there's kind of low chance to just make a comeback, really. As a Zerg, at least.
This is true. Taiwanese ready, Enki's ready, alright. Looks like they are all ready. Good luck, have fun, have fun. soO versus INnoVation, game number 2. INnoVation taking a dominant lead there in the previous game. Those Hellion run-bys with the battle cruisers as a distraction force. Absolutely lethal. And yeah, very cleanly tying the knots afterwards. It took him a little bit, but as you said, it makes sense with the army composition that he was going for. That would occur like that. So, Simulacrum, do you think this is also another mech map in a way, or...?
It's hard to say. It's relatively big, so mech is probably quite good here. It's quite spread out, so it's difficult to defend bases. So that's maybe argument against mech. But most of Koreans I saw play on this map, they actually played mech here too. So maybe INnoVation is also gonna play mech here as well. I heard it's quite popular in Korea right now. However, last week we saw Cure playing mostly bio, so it seems like both mech and bio are pretty viable nowadays. So I would say this looks. I would say it's hard to say what is he gonna really go for.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. And INnoVation, like, he is one of those players that can just open up with battle cruises and then just, you know what, throw down the barracks as well afterwards, getting Stimpak. And straight up going bio afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, INnoVation knows how to play bio, you know? Like, he has the experience of all these years. So...
Truly, exactly. Alright, anyway. Let's introduce these players again. We have in the top left, the red Terran player. He is INnoVation. Right. Beautiful camera work there. You want to introduce the other one, or?
You go for it.
I go for it. Alright, alright. In the bottom right side, we have a blue Zerg. He is soO.
Okay, so how do you feel about chances of these players in this game and the next ones too?
You know what? I think Simulacrum it might be a little bit of a more Zerg favored map in a way, other than Ephemerum, just because it feels a little bit more open. There's less choke points in a way. I don't know. I'm just kind of hoping that INnoVation goes for the bio style again. To be fair, but that might just be my personal preference there coming to shine.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Mid of this map, middle of this map is very, very open, right? So such mech might actually, yeah, you can get a really nice 360-degree surround as a Zerg, and then especially if tanks are unsieged, then it feels super hard. I agree. On the other hand, there's not much distance to go to Zerg's base. Basically, you just go 2 screens, and you're sieged up near his 4th base, which Zerg has to hold pretty much, right? So,
Yeah.
so this is quite interesting.
I think we're gonna learn from INnoVation, who is actually gonna go for a very quick 3rd command center here. We've been seeing this more and more often coming out of Terran players. I remember that people used to open up with a command center first as well for a while, but that kind of fell out of favor a long time ago, it seems, just so you could always get that Reaper quickly and play a little bit safer.
Yeah, so I talked with Nercho about Cure hold last week on this map. I don't know if you remember, he went 3 CC into BC and he still managed to hold Roach Ravager Ling all in on 35 workers, right? So it's a huge deal. So his point was that there is quite large rush distance on this map, right? So he said that it's something that normally Cure would take significantly more damage, but because these roaches had to walk, and it took them long time, that's why BC managed to be kinda on time, right? So maybe this is a reason why INnoVation opted to go for 3CC on this map as well. It seems in minds of Koreans, this might be just a map that is safe to go greedy on.
Okay, that makes sense actually. That's a good little nugget of information there. Huh, interesting. We are seeing another Roach Warren, by the way. Deja vu.
Oh, and it's finished, so this could be actually a pressure. No, this is 42 workers, so I don't think soO is planning a pressure since he is not really banking any money. He is supply blocked as well, so his timing is kind of already missed, I would say. So, but there were some Hellions. There's one Hellion.
Oh, Reaper. Yeah, Reaper in the main base. He did scout out the Roach Warren, by the way, so he is putting down a bunker here at the front door. He didn't wall off at all, actually, at his natural base. That's kind of interesting, too.
Yeah, so we have actually slight pressure from soO. Let's see how committed he's gonna be to this. He's actually pretty committed, so this is just... I don't like this timing, this is just too late. Right now, INnoVation has a lot of time to just build up the bunkers. He actually has a really decent number of Marines. He's gonna have steam and tank on the way. These type of timings, they have to be super sharp and really, you know, early on. I don't think this is gonna work. However, you know, I mean, this is still 3CC against Roach Ravager Lingolin, so in theory, this is supposed to be quite okay for Zerg, but I think it's looking good for Terran.
Yeah, with just the added time to scout here. I mean, the Ravagers are gonna have a little work cut out for themselves to try and bile these bunkers down. There's a lot of links, though, to help support, perhaps surround the bunkers to deny some mining here, or repairing.
Yeah, but look, the tank is super safe behind all of these bunkers.
Yeah.
I just don't see. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
3 vials? No, it's not.
Oh, tank is dead. Okay, well, it was better than I expected.
Okay.
I would say this was quite okay. But the problem is right now that he's gonna have only 5 Ravagers. I think 5 Ravagers when bunkers are being repaired is not enough to break through them. So that means these bunkers are gonna be tough to break through. So it's okay. He's
second tank
biling.
as well.
Okay, he managed to kill one bunker, but there's still one there. It seems soO is slightly GG. Okay, running out of steam.
That second siege tank there, just wailing away from the back and being able to just shut down that push afterwards as well. I'm not sure if soO actually saw that was there. Maybe he would have biled that one down instead. But yeah, I mean, that just gives another point on the board here for INnoVation, who now has a 2-0 lead. INnoVation
Yeah, that's
on the roll.
pretty good for INnoVation, and I would say this was slightly sloppy for soO. One, because of the timing of the attack, I would say this should come slightly sooner, maybe 15 seconds, maybe 20, maybe bunkers wouldn't be ready, maybe tank wouldn't be ready. That's one thing. And the second thing is he let INnoVation scout it. And the main premise of this build is that you don't let the Terran scout it, because
Yeah.
Terran actually really struggles with scouting this build.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's easy to block Reaper that's going to go into the main base of Zerg, right? So 2-3 links, 1 queen, and Roach Warren would not be scouted, and this game could have went completely differently.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I mean, we've been talking about how the map actually is very large, in fact, and the rush distance is very large as well. So that and INnoVation being able to scout the Roach Warren before actual roaches were out on the map already, that is quite significant, I'd say, and yeah, definitely a problem there. Trying to get everybody in here again. There's a lot of people, as I said before. Oh, by the way, guys, we do have a Matcherino page as well. It is just up there above in our chat, and if you go to the link, you will be able to see well, the code as well and the link. Go to the link, grab the code, put the code in the link, and you should be good. Add a bit of extra money to the prize pool. We would appreciate it. These players would appreciate it as well. And you know what? You're supporting StarCraft 2 for free.
Just 2 clicks, or maybe, well, let's say 5 to 10 clicks.
I counted it once. Yeah, I think it is around 5 or 6, something like that. No match history. All right, it looks like we are good to go again. Let me just get you in as a second referee, just in case maybe something happens to me. Maybe my pause button stops working or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm just talking about stuff and the game was paused and then they're just like, please go. Hello. I'm just talking and you know.
Getting too excited.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, this is a map we had that 30-minute comeback from Cure last time.
Oh, that's true actually.
Yeah.
That just makes me more worried for soO here, to be honest. That is... Alright, well, maybe, you know what? Cure isn't INnoVation and INnoVation isn't Cure. soO, you know what? He's also a different place, so you know, who knows what's gonna happen here. In the top right, anyway, we have the red Terran player. He is INnoVation. Team Kai Z, we believe. Unless if that's just a team name that he invented himself for on the ladder. In the bottom left, we have the blue Zerg. He is soO. The freaks.
So Kaizi is apparently some kind of Chinese billionaire team.
What?
And they have planned, yeah, and maybe they plan also to sign Special and Raynor.
What?
There were rumors about this.
Chinese billionaire team? You have to elaborate on this. What does that mean?
I'm not exactly sure. It seems it's funded by some billionaires or something.
Wow.
Well, China
I mean, there's a lot of billionaires in China right now, aren't there?
Yeah, I guess, right? And they invest a lot on esports. This is a, growing industry. We have still, a lot of years of StarCraft coming, right? So they see this as a probably good investment.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, there's some stuff wrong with China, but they definitely have this stuff locked down, and you know what? We gotta take it where we can get it. So there we go. Great stuff. We are having a pull first here by soO again, by the way. Just as in game number 1. Didn't really work out previously. Is he gonna go for the 2 links again? It looks like he will. Just the 2 links. He's not gonna get that gas very quickly either, or at least the gas for the speed upgrade, which makes sense to me.
Well, interesting part about this is that these 2 links, they pull the Reaper back. So on one hand, in last game, soO decided to just expand behind these 2 links. But who knows what he's gonna do now? Because he might. Okay, he seems to be expanding. He's sending drones there, but it also opens opportunity to all in there, right? Because Reaper is not gonna be scouting the main base of Zerg, so there could be cheeky Roach Warren right there, and INnoVation could have no idea behind it,
Yeah,
about this, right? So
that's a cool idea, actually. Yeah, I
yeah,
like that.
so I've seen the way Koreans all in against Terrans early on. They really care about not getting scouted, right? So they pull the Reaper back, and that's why they send a run by, for example, or just these two links like this, and this makes these all ins way more scary, because all in that you don't know is coming is just way more powerful than all in you expect, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
As we saw previous game, like as soon as INnoVation
Exactly.
expected it, oof, that was not pretty.
Yeah, you see an all-in, you build 4 bunkers, you build a tank, and there's nothing they can do pretty much, right?
Come
There's
at me,
no
man.
there's no amount of micro or anything that is gonna make you survive this as a Zerg, right? Or make
Yeah,
you succeed, I guess.
this is true. So INnoVation once again gonna go for the Hellions, and once again we're seeing a fusion core being thrown down here. The Overlord also very low on HP, so probably not gonna get the opportunity to scout this. Is soO gonna be able to scout this with the Ling again, though? That is the question.
Yep.
He might do.
He might do, yeah. Yeah, I think it's even nice to send 2 links. Yes, it's slightly more expensive, but you really want to get that information, what's going on there, what's going on there. And let's see,
agree.
did soO learn from his mistakes, and what's his link count, so he doesn't randomly die from Hellions again. This is 8 right now, so this is solid, but there are more Hellions coming, and let's see, is he gonna increase his link count? So far, not really. So there is still opportunity for INnoVation to kill him, just like he killed him in the first game.
The Link scouted it again. Well, at least he saw the tech lab on the starports. In previous times as well, we saw the Roach Warren being added a lot sooner. It's only being added right now, so a little bit of a deviation there already.
Yeah, we have very early lair and also Roach Warren in the wall, right? So he's not preventing the scout, so he's gonna know about the Roach Warren, which means it's most likely it's not gonna be all-in Roach Warren, but rather just a macro one, especially since there is 50 drones in total right now. So I think it's clearly a macro one. This could be Corruptor, Roach Ravager, Ling all-in, or just kinda a macro game from soO, I would say. But he didn't lose million drones this time, so I would say he's entering this in much better shape right now.
Well, not yet, right? I mean, we still need to see the battle cruiser come in here and maybe cast a diversion for these Hellions to have the opening again.
Yep, but this time soO actually is making units, not only drones, so it seems it's slightly safer for him right now. He also has decent queen count, although I guess it's only 7. It's slightly low, but let's hope he's gonna, produce more of them if he wants to survive them.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna be okay, because the Hellions are just nowhere near the base of soO here. It's just the single battle cruiser.
Yep. As a Terran, you want to randomize whether you go in with the Hellions or not. Sometimes Zerg is gonna underproduce links and you punish them for it, but it's very hard to tell as a Terran how many links are there. Right, so you want to randomize. Sometimes you want the Zerg to be too greedy. Sometimes you want the Zerg to be overly safe. Right, like kinda right now, soO has 17 links and 6 roaches. That's slightly too many, I guess. Right, but for the situation he's in, I guess.
That battlecruiser killed 3 queens, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You kind of need like 8, 9, 10, and he only had 7. So and even closer to 10, I would say. So soO seems to be just kind of a greedy boy in these games. So he's taking a bit too much damage because of that. Right?
Yeah.
And I would say the lesson from this we can learn is just it's fine to be slightly safer, slightly overly safe even. And because the damage you're gonna take if you're slightly under defending is gonna be bigger than the benefit you're gonna have from it, most likely.
Makes sense. I mean, instead of 17 workers losing 3 queens, I think I'd still know which one I'd want to.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yes. But it's still not ideal. I mean, queens are very, very important, and the only thing that saved him is the fact that he rushed to this corruptor super early, right? If this was delayed layer like the first game, then suddenly these battle cruisers would have a lot of fun going around. Even though I think you still want to have a healthy queen number just to spread creep. Right now, for example, he has very little active tumors because there's just only one queen that's spawning them. So and against mech, you still want to have a lot of creep everywhere, especially since he's applying low pressure to you. So you know, and creep is always good, pretty much.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. You should have more creep in this situation. Well, the sleepers though, I mean, you have a lot of creep to spread as well.
Yeah, sure.
Night swim on the way. I was looking at what he was planning with the night swim. I don't see any swarm hosts this time around. Do you think he's gonna attempt some sort of aggression or maybe an overlord in the main base here?
Well, he's at 80 workers, so it's not gonna be easy to be aggressive for soO, I think. Yeah, now he loses 3 corruptors for free. Not ideal, right? But he has 78 workers, so this is decent. However, he's only on 7 gases, because this map doesn't have 8th gas on the 4th base, which is usually a problem for Zerg, because our units are so gas heavy, right? So right now, if you grab this 5th base, the one soO is taking, you're essentially on 8 gases, which is 4 base gas economy. So that's not ideal, because at certain point, minerals don't really count for Zerg. You're gonna have 4,000 of them anyway, but you're gonna be starved on gas. On the other hand, soO is choosing to play composition that is very mineral heavy, right? So this is Swarm Host, this is Roaches, this is Lynx. All these units don't really require too much gas, so maybe he's tailoring his playstyle based on what the map he's playing.
That's pretty cool, yeah, actually. I haven't thought about that one yet. I mean, it does make sense. That's kind of his playstyle anyway, so...
Yeah, maybe it's just something he likes to do. Maybe I'm over-analyzing this, you know. That's also possible.
Well, it might be part of the reason why he picked World of Sleepers as well, right? Because it does facilitate to his playstyle as well. There might be a combination of the two things.
Who knows? Who knows? We are just guessing what's in their heads right now.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so this is a pretty solid push. Yeah. This is pretty solid push. He managed to kill a couple of tanks. This is difficult for INnoVation. He might lose a 4th base, which is a huge success for soO, I would say.
Yeah, massive, actually. A couple of those locusts, though, do go into the low ground, unfortunately, it seems. Gonna get a little bit less damage done here, but still, you know what? Forcing a lift up on that starport, killing off a reactor.
Yeah, this is pretty painful, definitely. But I would say the biggest part was 4th base. Terran mines out bases quicker, which means if you kill the 4th base of Terran twice, Terran is starved because main base is already low on money. Natural is gonna get low on money soon, and 3rd base is not that rich either. So if let's say INnoVation tries to take a 4th again and soO denies this again, this is gonna be a huge need for him, and that was already pretty nice damage.
It was feels like a little bit of a weird engagement there. That perhaps soO was overestimating his Thors there for a moment, but you know what? He's still killing a couple of Thors. He could turn around for those ones as well. Doesn't do it though. Now flying in with those corruptors. Oh my dear lord! All right. This could be rather painful as well. This is really difficult for those Thors to come back into this main base. The main base going down very rapidly. There it goes.
Yeah, I would say INnoVation is trouble. He got out multitask. That's the main problem of mech. It's just very immobile. It's slow. It's difficult to take bases with it. It's difficult to defend multiple harassment from multiple locations. And soO is doing this really, really well.
Yeah, he really is, isn't he? And you know what? I mean, INnoVation basically on 2 bases now. When soO, look at the amount of bases he has. It's too many to count.
Yeah, so this kind of a desperation push from INnoVation. He got caught unsieged right there, so he already lost half, you know, of his army supply, maybe slightly less, but still. So this is not looking good for INnoVation at all. Yeah. This is, as I said, desperation push. It's gonna be hard.
He needs to have those Hellbats and Hellions alive against the Swarm host, who are, you know what, actually not even bothering helping with the defense here, just making sure that more damage is dealt on the economy of INnoVation here. Killing off more work, only 5 works actually, so a little bit of a miss micro there perhaps. Seeing some of them chasing some units there, but anyway. There's push from INnoVation. Can it actually manage to kill off some bases here? The siege tanks are in a pretty reasonable position. They're still on the creep though. Wiles could do quite a bit if those siege tanks stays too close to one another.
Yeah, and there's 10 tanks, so this is quite formidable army, I would say. There's not much buffer for them, and with continuous remaxes, soO is supposed to clean it up. Okay, let's see. Okay, wave of locusts right now, killing it. Oh my god, this is going to be, I would say, oh, it's not that close. Okay, yeah, so soO is cleaning it up. And right now, INnoVation, he stabilized his economy a little bit behind this push, and he killed one of the bases from soO. So this is not bad for him, but it's not good at all because remaxing with mech is just, it takes so long time. So I would say this is still very, very rough for INnoVation. However, he managed to trade reasonably well there, but this is going to give soO free pass on harassing with Swarm Host and everything. So this is looking pretty rough for INnoVation, I would say.
I'm trying to find the other local. Okay, there they are. That's pretty cool, actually, having two places at once where you're just sending locusts to, and he is gonna get this base as well. Very big pick there.
Yep, definitely. So this is, as I said, a second loss of the fourth base. So right now, INnoVation has barely any mineral patches to mine from, right? So this is he's lifting a base there, so this is 8 mineral patches fresh, but still. This is not looking good. Look at his supply and look at his mineral count. This is rough, and soO is pretty rich. He is building a nice bank. He's thinking about investing this for future, and he feels pretty comfortable, I would say.
But Matisse, think about it, right? What if we see another comeback here on World of Sleepers for in another ZvT series? How epic would that be?
It would be epic, but it's not kind of how you do it as INnoVation. You remember Cure just camped super hard. He was, super impenetrable, while INnoVation is moving out constantly and, frankly getting bopped, yes, and losing on their base as well in the process.
Kind of feel for him though, like, I think I would be similar to INnoVation in this situation where I'd just be like, oh my god, I gotta do something here. I'm just losing bases left, right, and center. I need to do some damage, or else I'm just gonna get overrun. And well, GG is called exactly. But yeah, it does kind of go against your overall idea, right? Or at least, like, in a way, it goes against something that you're thinking about. In a way, is like, okay, I'm taking damage. I need to deal damage as well to equalize again. But in a sense, that's the kind of the opposite of what you want to have happen in that situation, no?
Yeah, kinda, because you want to. Terran is extremely strong at defending, and it's quite good at attacking, right? But if you're behind, then quite good at attacking becomes not so good at attacking and barely okay in defending, right? So I saw that players from Generic Greenwings, Maru, Cure, when they get behind, their plan to get back to the game is just camping super hard. And, sieged up tanks on high grounds and, just very good defensive setup. It's pretty tough to break this as a Zerg. So this seems like a better way to come back rather than just throw away your army to kill a couple of drones or a base, right?
Yeah.
I think, at least. Maybe not always, right? But maybe better way would be just camping super hard while harassing, right? Maybe you run by with a couple of Hellions, you manage to kill 20 workers, and suddenly this is not that bad this way, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, just yeah, I think you're right. Don't overcommit with all your most valuable units in that sense, and just try to use the minimal amount of investments to still manage to do quite a lot of damage. You can do quite a lot with the Hellion run-bys, honestly, so might as well.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just better to attack and kill your opponent, so there's never a definitive answer to what's good in StarCraft, right? It always depends, right, on what's going on.
I'm just gonna do a lobby link from now on, I think. There we go. It's a lot quicker.
Okay.
We have 6 casters in total casting this. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good match, so everyone wants to jump on board, so.
This is true. Everybody was like, all right, I guess I'll volunteer.
I'll sacrifice myself and volunteer.
Well, if nobody else wants to, all right. Yeah, all right. Anyway, we gotta take a bit of a moment.
Right. Yeah, sorry, go on.
For INnoVation. He has to go to the toilet. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I would say interesting game so far.
Hmm?
But maybe slightly one-sided so far, I would say.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I mean, soO. He had a pretty solid game there, I suppose. No?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what? Yeah, the first 2 games pretty one-sided for INnoVation. Third game pretty one-sided for soO. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
yeah,
So it doesn't mean that one player is significantly better or worse, but it just kind of they did a little bit of gambles here and there, and these gambles resulted in the fact that one of the players got massive lead in early game, and they are so good that it's very difficult to make a comeback in general, let's say.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Anyway, this is game number 4 on Triton. It is going to take place. And I hear from a lot of people that this is quite a nice Zerg map. Which is interesting because INnoVation picked it.
So it depends. So because for defensive terrains kind of like this map, but aggressive terrains really hate it, because this is map where it's very big, and there's not many good spots to attack into Zerg, right? While it's still difficult for Zerg to attack into Terran. It's pretty choke pointy. There's 5 kind of free bases, maybe not so free, but still easily defendable, I would say. So INnoVation being a macro Terran, I think he might feel relatively comfortable on this map.
All right, all right. I mean, might be true. So far, it's been pretty aggressive, though. Even though with the mech style, he's been pushing a lot. Anyway,
yeah,
once again, we're seeing in the top left side a spawning pool first. So maybe soO has just done some maths, and he's been like, you know what, this is just superior to the other thing. You know, where you go the hatch first and then into a couple of links to defend against the Reaper. Instead, you just get the 2 links to force the Reaper to stay back, as you're saying, and then you can just drone happily away behind this.
Who knows? I didn't do the math there, so...
Me neither.
Yeah, so I don't know, but...
I'm not that invested as they are.
I did math of hatch first versus pool first, and hatch first is kind of like 5 to 10% better. So is skipping 2 links and getting 3rd base for free, is it justifying this 5-10% worse economy? I have no clue. Yeah, we would have to run some serious math tests.
Yeah. And at the top of my head, I'd say no. Or at least that's what my instinct's telling me. Maybe if you do manage to get some damage done as well, if the Reaper is going around on the other side of the map as well, but... I mean, the idea is that the Reaper stays at home, I suppose, right? So...
Yeah, and it's staying, okay. It forces also SCV Scout for INnoVation, so that he can determine what's the timing of the natural base. So that's also 100 minerals down for Terran, right? So maybe this makes it worthwhile, right? So if you in a series of best of 9, your opponent has to SCV scout more often. Suddenly his builds are less tight, and it's also hurting him economically. So maybe this evens out. Maybe this is only good in best of 9s, best of 7s, and not really in best of 3s.
Well, that would be pretty cool as well. You know what? I think we're just gonna have to hope that soO wins the best of 9, and we get to ask him himself, because we will, of course, have a winner's interview here, and we're gonna be able to figure it out. Hutchinson will be there translating for us. We're not gonna try and talk Korean to soO, fortunately for us, because that would go abysmal.
Yeah.
We needed like a webcam trying to like do sign language towards him. So pool first, so we would make swimming I don't even know how we would start that.
That was pretty tough.
It would be a rough task. Anyway, thankfully we won't have to commit to such weird stuff. And I'm just kind of wondering if we're going to see another fusion core here from INnoVation as well. There is a tech lab rather close to that starport, but so far nothing else yet. And he's making Marauders, so this could be a Hellbat Marauder push, potentially. Could it be?
Yeah, I think there's very high chance for that because Viking is supposed to just clear Overlords, grant the night vision for Zerg, right? So Zerg is not gonna have any idea what's coming, and this build also works when you manage to surprise your opponent. And it's particularly good because soO is generally very, very greedy early on, and right now he's going against Roach Warrens. So I think when you go for roaches and not banelings, you just need very high number of roaches to hold this kind of push. And I didn't see, soO just building a lot of roaches, except when he plans to all in. So I
Yeah.
think calculations of INnoVation here are pretty reasonable, and I would say there is a decent chance this might work.
That's pretty cool, yeah. Exactly, I like that soO already started moving his Overlord from the regular place as well, as soon as he realized that there was a Viking hunting, but fortunately INnoVation just 2 on top of things. Alright, here we go, the first push already coming in. Oh, there is 2 Marauders in here already. I mean, there is the change of the Hellions into the Hellbats, and the surprise has been activated. The trap card. 8 Roaches are in the production tab. 5 Queens only right now. Actually, 6 Queens trying to hold back the onslaught. They are getting closer and closer to that very precious mineral line. Can soO hold? He's splitting up his Queens and Roaches very nicely, I have to say. He's doing a very good job so far. And you know what? Oh dear lord, there's 3 more Hellbats right there at the top who are now roasting away at those drones. They're not being pulled away. Okay, now they are. This is looking rather rough. You know what? I don't see this do too much that many times, but this time around it looks like it might be able to eke out ahead, although a lot of those Hellbats are incredibly low HP. You think that's a little bit of missed-targeting as well from soO, or...?
Well, I think he was just, again, too greedy, and this is dealing actually decent damage. I would say this is close, but when you look at the unit's loss tab, it's actually very good for Terran. So I would say this was generally a pretty fine push, and soO is probably behind. He wasn't against pushes like this. You just want to have units ready by the time this hits, and they were just trickling in, one roach by one. And yes, he's gonna clean this up. And actually, INnoVation was extremely committed to this push. He cut SCVs for quite a long time, but right now he's getting a third behind this. I would say it's definitely enough damage for INnoVation, and he's definitely happy with the way it went. However, it probably is not game over. He still soO has decent supply lead, worker lead. It's for INnoVation, but he can easily build 10 workers right now, and soO that is, and he's gonna be happy about how it went. I think INnoVation is slightly ahead, but not by huge margin.
Yeah, soO made a couple of roaches there behind there as well. You think
this
he's still
counter-attack is
wondering about
suddenly-
like a second follow-up, or?
I think follow-up counter-attack like this for Zerg can be pretty scary because sorry, I mean, INnoVation doesn't have much behind this. Look, so he could even deny a third or just delay it, kill these refineries at least. He's killing 1 Marauder, so that's not bad. And it seems like INnoVation is switching into Banshee mech.
Banshee mech. You don't see that very often either.
Yeah, Koreans like to do it from time to time. I'm not sure if that's that strong, but this Banshee actually buys him safety right now. In case soO went for full-on counter-attack to just counter all-in, then INnoVation without these Banshees, he might have been in trouble.
Yeah, but he's fully prepared with them, especially with Aliens there as well. It's really nice seeing how he's keeping most of them on the red, not letting any of them die, but you know, it's still a couple of SCVs falling here. It's overall, I'm not sure if that was worth it for the amount of roaches that was sent over.
Yeah, me neither. He's gonna have to rebuild these roaches, and you kind of don't want to build roaches as a Zerg at this point. You kind of want to have 10 of them and just be happy and proceed to stuff that's good, right? Like in general in StarCraft, you want to build good units, not bad units, right? And the roaches are rather these bad units, and for example, Swarm Host would be pretty nice here, right? Or whatever else, you know, soO wants to play with, right? So for example, Vipers would be really good units, so he's stacking very quickly to them. And it seems he's opting to go for Roach, Hydra, Viper, or maybe even Lurkers. And I would say that's pretty nice choice. Banshees are pretty bad against Hydras and pretty bad against Vipers. So I think this is looking relatively okay for soO, you know, making wise. But on the other hand, from economy perspective, INnoVation is in pretty good shape because he already is gonna finish 4th base pretty soon, and soO, which is pretty similar timing to what soO has, and that's not too good because as a Zerg you want to be a base ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Another interesting thing I'm noticing here that I want to ask you about is that INnoVation kind of went for the Banshee speed first, and then he kind of foregoed the cloak. Do you think it's still worth getting the cloak right now at the time that he is getting it, or?
That's a good question. Hard to say. Hard to say. I think so, right? Like for example, if you get caught, these Banshees get caught, you just in random moments you want to get the cloak and run away. So I think it's fine. Yeah. So, but he's mainly just managing Banshees through speed, right? Just running away when it's getting hot, and that's fine.
It's just that I'm thinking about, like, you already showed the benches, so you're gonna have sport crawlers available, most likely. Overseer is usually also already gonna be a response to it, so...
Yep.
Well, it's just for the niche moments, maybe, perhaps. If you're gonna invest this much in benches anyway, maybe he's like, oh, might as well get it.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like this, yeah, I think so. Well, let's see, is this push gonna work, is it good, because the number of tanks is kinda low, and we have Vipers coming, so 1-2 Blinding Clouds, and suddenly this Terran army is gonna be very, very weak, so I'm not sure if I really like this move out at all. I think INnoVation was trying to hit a timing before Vipers, but he managed to miss it, and once Vipers are out, tanks suddenly are not so good.
Yeah, he does have a pretty reasonable spread though, except for, I guess, those four at the front, maybe. Is that actually hittable by one Blinding Clouds here? Oh my god, if there's
I think so. Blinding Clouds have surprisingly big, radius.
Right, in they come, the Hellbats marching forwards, tanking the damage, but actually all the siege tanks not firing as this is occurring. It looks like, yeah, soO is going to be able to clean this up rather handedly. 3 more tanks as well coming in from behind, ready for the slaughter. Now they're going to get harpoons, well at least one of them is. There we go. Beautiful cleanup there from soO.
Yeah, it's just, a perfect example of why Vipers are one of the most powerful tools against mech. Most of mech armies are based on tanks. And if your tanks can't shoot, then suddenly your army is pretty bad.
Yeah. So do you think, what would be the better choice? Having a couple of Thors there as well to try and target him down? Or maybe like Ghost or Viking?
Yeah, all of these things would be good. I think initially you want a couple of Vikings to just, push these Vipers away. But generally, I think once you see Vipers and you are not really ready against them, you just run home. Just run as quickly as you can. And so that INnoVation push was just simply a little too late. You want to scan the timing of Hive of the Zerg, and you want to base your timing of push based, on the fact whether Hive is done or not, are there Vipers or not. And it seems to me like INnoVation just happily moved out and then got punished for it, kinda.
We're seeing the 2 Vikings there as well. A bit rough, a bit unnecessary perhaps, but maybe not the end of things though, of course.
Yeah, I would say INnoVation is not in the best shape. Right now he has only 2 Vikings. It's just 2 Vipers though, so it's not the end of the world, but just 2 good Blinding Clouds, and suddenly INnoVation might just randomly die.
We are seeing a Lurker Den being created as well from soO though. Is that an indicator that most likely he's not going to go for a big attack, or is he just kind of looking for... Maybe there is still an opportunity here? Or just units, maybe.
Hydra Viper is a composition that doesn't want to fight mech head on. This is 16 tanks. This is getting really scary. One volley from these guys, half of your army is dead. So what you want to do is just run around, right, and force the Terran to constantly reposition And this way, and while he's repositioning, you abduct, you know, here and there, right? So this is 6 Vipers with full energy. That would be 12 abducts. So you just, you know, you attack the 5th. You see Terrans are coming, Terran tanks are coming at you. You just abduct half, you kill half, you run away, right? And then you regain the energy on your Vipers, and then you attack his 6th base, you know, and you run left, right, and these trades can get really, really efficient for Zerg, and Terran really doesn't have that many good answers against this. I would say a couple of Vikings, and I think I really like a Ghost transition at this point as well. When you're about to get maxed out, this new EMP is just so good, and suddenly it just makes Vipers much worse.
Instead, we're seeing a fusion core being added here. It's interesting. I think the Liberators are also a response towards the lurk attack that is incoming.
Yeah, definitely. And they are very good against lurkers. But on the other hand, INnoVation still doesn't have a solid answer to Vipers, right? Because Vipers kind of soft counter each other with Vikings, like this, right? Yes, he lost 1 Viper, but he lost 5 Vikings there, right? So, and Vipers get really countered by Ghosts quite convincingly. Just 1 good DNP and Vipers are, you know, not really useful at all.
This is true. So yeah, the Liberators as well. It kind of feels like that would not be the choice here against the Vipers either. But you know what? INnoVation is making headway here. It looks like with this army of his. A massive amount of siege tanks, more Vikings as well, joining in with this army. I'm not sure if soO really has enough to defend his base, but ultimately, if he just waits a little bit here, perhaps let this base go down, he might have enough troops to just destroy this army with those Broodlords there as well.
Yeah, but there is still 8 Vikings here, so he would need to get also Corruptors and stuff. So I would say the game is starting to equalize a little bit, because yes, a couple of trades were terrible for INnoVation, but he still has 6 bases, insane economy, and really nice production, right? So it's still 20 tanks. Yes, he lost 10 tanks within the last 2 minutes, but still, this is very, very scary army. However, there are Broodlords out, and Broodlords make tanks somewhat obsolete.
They make them look a little bit silly, killing their own units. That's for sure. There's so many siege tanks though. Blinding Clouds are pretty reasonable, keeping a lot of those Hydralisks alive who need to stay underneath those Broodlords to help out against the Vikings. Vikings shooting away at the Broodlords, but it looks like the siege tanks are completely cleaned up now. There's just a ball of Vikings remaining here. INnoVation losing quite a large portion of his mech army.
Yes, but look at the Remax, man. This is kind of Zerg Remax. This 5 Thors at once, 6 Hellions at once, and 4 Vikings at once. So in a second, he's gonna have 10 Thors. And in current patch, it seems like Thors are pretty good against Broodlords.
Yeah, the overall supply INnoVation, yeah, is still steamrolling ahead here. It looks like.
Yep, I would say in current patch, people still underrate Broodlords a tiny bit. If you have like 15 of them and you throw a decent Blinding Cloud on Thors, they're still pretty strong. But it seems like the economy of INnoVation is just so massive. You know, it's 7 bases, and this type of production is pretty crazy for mech player. So he lost the entire army, and within 1 minute he's completely remaxed.
That's just like, I'm good again. All right. Finally, we are seeing some lurks here as well joining in with this. It looks like both the opponents are going a bit for a base or a base trade. I'm not sure if they're fully committing to this. soO might just retreat after this one. Sending in just one single lurker. I really like that, actually. One lurker here is going to be able to do quite a bit of damage on those SCVs. He is going to lose this base over here in the middle of the map, though. This army might want to do a retreat. Massive parasitic bombs though on those Vikings, making them all very low HP. 28 workers actually getting killed off by this lurker here. 22 kills in total. That's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
And the SCVs, some of them were actually dodging the lurker shots there. You don't see that very often, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's really interesting tech switching from soO, I would say, because he went for Broodlords, which forced INnoVation to go into Thors, and then instead of staying on these Broodlords and building huge Broodlord army, he switched back into Lurkers, which completely dominate Thors, as we just saw, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like the answer to late game mech might be just constant tech switching and fooling the Terran. So that's
Yeah.
very interesting way to approach this, and it seems to work pretty well. And this is a very, very scary army for Zerg.
There are siege tanks set up though again once more for INnoVation, as we were saying. That production is just absolutely mental for him right now. He's making it work. He has the economy for it. Oh, Corruptus as well though, coming in to clean up another base there on the right side. More lurkers burrowing down, so the... oh, dear lord.
Lag? Is it me?
I think it's Azure actually. That's a bit of a rough one. No, he's back. That's all back. Oh god, it's back again. We should probably pause this for a moment. Yeah.
Game paused.
Sure. Oh. All right, yeah.
That's unfortunate. Always sad for everyone involved, especially the caster.
He's like, sorry.
Okay, check now.
Let's see if he can fix it. All right, so yeah, INnoVation is just in a really rough spot. This is actually quite probably an annoying moment for him to have this pulse take place.
Yep, I think he wants us to go Azure. I think check now, right? Like he wants us to check whether we can go.
I thought he was saying like I want to check something now.
Aha, yeah, I don't know. Hard to say. Yeah.
Game resumed.
Okay,
Right.
so we are back in the game, and since also INnoVation has insane production, he's also able to just tech switch like a Zerg, right? So he saw Lurkers going, so now we have 14 siege tanks, and in my opinion, siege tanks are pretty good against Lurkers. So
They really are. Even with the added range, it's you know what? It's still a massive AOE shot. It's still very rough.
Have, 3 range more, so you simply just outrange Lurkers and you're happy.
Yup. He's still adding more Thors as well, so maybe he's anticipating the Brutal switch again. He's adding Vikings now as well. So that's pretty cool actually, seeing him anticipate the next maneuver here from soO.
Yeah, look, so mech versus Zerg is completely different than Bio, right? Where when, in Bio you think about micro taking fights, and with mech you need to constantly think about your unit compositions, right? Is my composition good against what my opponent has? And with Bio you just make marines and you go ahead, right? So completely different, but it's also very interesting. Like people tend to downplay mech sometimes, but it's also very interesting style to play and play against, I think, because there's a lot of thinking involved, and I would say it's also a very, very interesting game.
It really is, yeah. I mean, it's starting to feel really rough here for INnoVation as he's losing bases left, right, and center. But I mean, a mech army, you can never really just underestimate it, right? It always has the opportunity to just do a lot of damage at some points and suddenly start steamrolling at you know, over your opponents. soO's bank is not all that either, is it? So one really good fight here for INnoVation potentially could still turn it into his favor. It's all going to come down, and you know what? A lot of the supply right now for soO is in those roaches, but the tanks where they were unsieged there, so giving the opportunity for soO to jump on top of this army, and GG is called.
GG.
So yeah, that was not the one good fight that INnoVation was hoping for.
Yeah, definitely. This was a good game. This was really good game. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it really was. It was very cool. It felt like I was learning stuff as well from these two players. Just like, you know what? It really felt like reminiscent of old ZvT in a way as well, or ZvP. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, just the continuous tech switching, like trying to fake out your opponents. Yeah, just really cool stuff overall.
Yeah,
Great,
and the best
great
part
teams.
is that both players were tech switching. Not only Zarek, who is supposed to tech switch, but also
Yeah.
Terran. Right? So it was really cool. But I think INnoVation would really benefit from playing Ghost there. They are good against Broodlords. They're good against Vipers. They're not so good against Lurkers, I guess, right? But still, combination with Liberators, they beat Lurkers pretty convincingly as well, I think, right? Or at least as a support to your tanks, so that you can EMP the Vipers and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so I think maybe INnoVation went too heavy on mech and just didn't make a bit more sophisticated army, like Tasteless likes to say.
Like a less sophisticated or a more
More,
sophisticated?
more.
More.
Yeah,
Okay.
he needs more. He needs more sophisticated.
Okay.
Mhm.
Instead of just the big ball of either Thor or Siege Tank.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
if you just add like for example, Liberator plus Thor is very scary.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to get close to these Thors this way, right? So they are being protected by the Liberators, for example.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because in order to counter Liberators, you need to abduct them. But if there are Thors below it, then Thors are gonna snipe the Vipers before they actually get close, for example, right? So I would say this was just too simple army for INnoVation most of the time.
That makes sense. Yeah, like you're saying, did you mention the ghost as well? Well, at least you did in game, so... Yeah, I think you're
Okay,
right.
I think I need to run to
I'm
toilet
trying to
very quickly.
multitask here.
One
Yeah, all
second.
good, all good. We have the opportunity, of course, to go to the toilets whenever we want with a co-caster here. Me as well. I could just kind of put the camera on Matisse if I want to, and then just let him do the stuff at the start here. He seems rather capable. Anyway, that does mean that I can go ahead and do a bit of introduction here. He went up 2-0, and now it is, you know what, no longer the case. It's the red Terran in the bottom right side. It is INnoVation from Kai Z, apparently a Chinese billionaires team. So yeah, you know what, it sounds like a good friend to have. In the top left side we have a Blue Zerg player managing to tie up the series once again, and that was a rather an awesome game that we just saw from him as well. He is soO from Afrika Freaks. Well, it used to be Afrika SC2, I believe, but now rebranded, renamed. Looking pretty cool as well, I have to say. Awesome stuff. You think
Okay,
that...
I'm back.
Welcome back. You think that rebranding of Afrika kind of took place, in combination with the new stuff for the StarCraft 2 scene coming along?
Who knows? They might, just the info a bit sooner.
Yeah. I mean, they should do, right? Because they're kind of in between the table as well with the entire GSL thing, them being a big part of that.
I think it's insanely good news. This is another Korean team, so Korean scene seems to be, getting healthier. So that's nice.
Yeah. Definitely still a couple of problems though. If I do leave the words from Artosis in the pylon show there. I mean, there's still a couple of things where there's just not a lot of new Korean players coming along.
Yes and no, because we have a couple of new Koreans that are coming up. There is Dynamite, who is pretty good Terran. Then there is Zone, who managed to beat INnoVation 3-0 in qualifiers of IEM Katowice just like a couple of days ago. Then we have Armani, who is getting pretty good results. Maybe he's not that new, but he's still kind of, underdog. So I would say, yes, this is a problem, but not as big as people make it to be, I think.
All right. It's just like, Dynamite as well. He's already returned from military service as well.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
so Dynamite is not young. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. He is. He already used to play in StarCraft 2, and then he's made a comeback.
So I missed that completely. Okay.
It's all good. I just know it because he joined Alpha X for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to cast him a couple of times, so I kind of did some digging there. And well, when I say digging, I just kind of heard it from people that told me.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate that way.
Mm-hmm. I think there's Control, SC2 Control as well, right? I don't know too much about him, but he's pretty active on Twitter. So that's another Terran from Korea. So I would say there is some potential there, I would say. Yeah, and it's just very difficult if you're new and young. How do you beat Zest so randomly and easily, right? This is
Yeah,
not an easy task to do. So
that's true.
to some extent, I think we will see them more once the old guys go to military, probably.
That makes sense, actually, yeah. I think, you know what, if... I've work on Tuesday, so I usually miss the Olimo League, which is a little of a bit of a downer for me. But yeah, I might just have to try and pick those up sometimes as well, because I feel like those are the places where you would see those players as well, right? Especially in the replay packs, you might be able to spot some of those guys.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Artosis is right in saying that there's not many of them, right? But there are still some, right? So there is still some hope, I guess.
There's just no equivalent, in my opinion, as to, you know, us having Clem in a way, Rainer as well, like these really young players that are just like suddenly tearing it up.
Yep. That's true. But it's just so hard to, break out in Korea, right? Like you have to.
True.
It's just I had a friend, I think. For example, I had two Korean Terrans I practiced with. It was Sonagi and Avsdivel. And both of these guys, they were really good, but they just couldn't break through because they lost in qualifiers to Codes, and they didn't really have too many other places to play.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Hellbat drop to the main, which already killed 6 links. Sorry, 6 drones.
Yeah.
And that's a very successful drop already. And again, we have soO being slightly too greedy and getting punished for it. So INnoVation seems to have found a pretty interesting way to approach soO. Let's just attack him early on because he's otherwise gonna be too greedy.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it's working out for him so far. He's also following this up with the Cloaked Banshee. A bit of a mismicro there, perhaps, from that medevac there, taken down by a Spore Crawler and a Queen. But the Banshee, you know what, doing a lot of work here, cleaning up those roaches. It's not something you see every day. Instead of Hellbat Marauder, Hellbat Banshee. There's no Overseer here just yet. Alright, there it should be enough to take out that Banshee without the speed. And okay, well, 11 work is going down, but I mean, that was quite a large investment, but still more money lost overall by the Zerg here. And more drones still going down. This 1 Hellion. Oh my dear lord.
6 HP, yeah. Total, that's 20 drones already, right? So it's a lot.
Yeah.
I would say this really puts Terran in happy spot. However, this is also a very weird thing about punishing greedy Zergs, because they built so many drones early on, and also they banked quite a lot of money because of that during the fights, that if you kill 20, that's they still are at similar worker count as you, right? So when there is a greedy Zerg, you actually have to kill more drones as if he was a safe Zerg, right? Because he just has more. Right?
Makes sense, yeah. And I didn't really fully pay attention to it this time around, but maybe INnoVation also cut a few SCVs here and there to make this push come a little bit earlier with the Hellions and the Hellbats and stuff.
Didn't pay attention either, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, it's fine though. It's fine though. Maybe somebody in chat will be able to tell us. I don't have that open though, so that's...
yeah, me too.
Oh well. They'll know. They'll have to tell them. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll live
well, but this is 3 base Terran against 3 base Zerg, so it's usually a happy place for Terran.
Yeah, I think you're right. And also, like, especially when he's going mech, should be a-okay. Still heading on the benches as well. Once again, going for the benches speed. This Link run by though. Going unnoticed for quite a while.
Yeah, INnoVation sometimes does this. Like I've seen one Zergling kill 7 of his SCVs at one point in some tournament. Just one Link just going at it all the time. So INnoVation seems to struggle to spot these things sometimes, which is pretty interesting. I don't know, but it seems soO is deciding he has enough of it and he wants to attack. He's bringing most of his queens. he's building only roaches, and he's not getting a fourth base nor any tech. So right now, this is going to be pretty scary push because there's a lot of transfusions with it, and it seems like INnoVation only has 3 tanks. This is decent number with those 4 banshees, but is it gonna be enough? I'm not sure. This is going to be a pretty close fight.
Especially with this 4th base being out in the open here, that's definitely gonna have to be, or the 3rd base, sorry, have to be abandoned here. The Banshees are gonna have a little bit of an opportunity to take out a couple of these roaches before the Queens get in a position to help them out. But even that, not taking too much damage by it. Should be able to clean up the Queens. Oh, so many transfuses actually. Yep. Look at that.
Yeah, so the problem right now is that INnoVation is supply blocked because he lost his wall. So right now he cannot build any more tanks, so that's very, very bad for him. However, soO is taking his time, so he's not really attacking, he's not really committing to it. Maybe he decides to even go back, I'm not sure. But no, he's still producing a lot of units. So with this type of attacks, you really have to hurry up. So the fact that INnoVation is supply blocked, it really helps soO, because right now, if soO jumped on top, of INnoVation, he would be able to maybe kill him. But once there are 3 tanks more or 4, suddenly there's no way he's gonna do it.
Benches are actually taking out the Queens here, and that's gonna mean it's gonna be bye-bye for the roaches as well. No cover whatsoever anymore. And you know what, a while ago, during all of this, INnoVation put down a command center as well. He just started up a 4th base. He's like, yeah, I think I'm okay here. Very confident.
Yes. Which, I mean, with that supply block, there was a chance it could have worked if soO attacked from 2 angles, also from the 4th angle and from the 3rd angle. There was a chance he would break through, but right now there is no chance at all, and he is stuck with 32 roaches and 59 workers. So I would say this is a tragic situation for soO. But he forced a lot of tanks, and if INnoVation right now it doesn't build any, Cyclones or Thors or anything, Swarmhosts can be pretty effective right there. But there are 3 Thors on the way, so I think INnoVation is pretty happy about how it went in general.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, the supply a little bit in favor here for soO, but that's mostly just because of those roaches here, that really high number of roaches. And they're not going to be able to get too much work done here, I assume.
Yeah, he's still struggling with these banshees, and how many kills do they have? Well, not that many, but the kills that they have are pretty juicy. It's mostly Queens and Ravagers, so I would say INnoVation is looking pretty strong.
Do you think it would be worth it trying? Wait, why is he buying his own creep team?
I think he wanted to hit banshees, but good luck trying to hit banshees with this.
The speed banshee. Do you think it would be worth, when you have this amount of roaches, to just grab yourself the tunneling claws as well, maybe burrow, and then try to do some multi-pronged harassment that way?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, depending what you want to do. I think soO is very committed to all-inning right now. He's pushing, and this wave of Locust tanked quite a lot. So this was a reasonably successful attack for soO. He managed to reduce the Thor count, he managed to reduce tank count, but it's still 4 base Terran. So yes, he reduced that, but he's gonna rebuild this in a moment. And soO doesn't have much going for him. He just has a little bit of roaches and a bunch of Swarmhosts, and that's all he's hoping that's gonna work. And I don't think it's gonna, because I think INnoVation is just gonna reproduce super quickly all the time, and with each wave, yes, he's gonna deal a lot of damage, but it's most likely not gonna be enough damage.
I love this from INnoVation as well. He's adding 2 more starports. I think he's just want to create even more banshees here, potentially. He's going to add the Liberators. I'm not completely sure, but you know what? I like it. There's only 3 Queens here. And those banshees, they should have free reign over those Swarmhosts, especially if they don't have any Nidus Worms to fall back into. And there we go. Again, the Queens killed off, and here go the banshees.
Yeah, this is quite painful game from soO perspective. You're so happy to attack, and it seems like these attacks are doing well, but then suddenly you have no anti-air, and you just have to go back, and it's just so annoying.
It's very rough.
And yeah, so this is, however, he managed to secure the 4th. He is getting gases there. He slowed down INnoVation. Maybe there is a tiny chance, but with the type of economy that INnoVation has, he has 90 workers. I'm wondering that actually this could be problematic, because the army supply for soO is massive, so maybe
It
maybe
really
that could be
is.
a problem.
Siege tanks falling here. I mean, the bench is also a little bit low on HP, but 3 benches at a time now being created. There's only 4 queens here. I think we're just gonna see a repeat of those benches killing off the queens and then forcing soO to fall back again.
Oh my god, yeah, if that happens. Yeah, and this is actually on this map, defending 4 bases like this seems to be so easy and so comfortable for Meg.
Really does, doesn't it? There's not a
Yeah,
lot of
just
maneuvering he has
one
to do.
huge line of tanks and you're just kinda happy.
And there we go, queens are dead. Benches chasing down the Swarmhost again.
Okay, yeah. Alright, well, and with this number of Banshees that he's gonna have soon, I think just INnoVation realized, you know, soO is getting stubborn, he's just not building anything that's good against Banshees, let's get more Banshees, simple as that, right? And it seems to be working, I guess.
Really is. I think that's just gonna be it, honestly. There's no queens here.
Yeah,
There's no
these
spore
Banshees
crawlers
are
even. Well,
heroes
there's one
of the game. And he lost every single Swarmhost, so that's very important. Swarmhosts are not something you want to replace in general.
Yep. Yep, no Hydralisk. Only now the Hydralisk then is being added here, and you know, it feels like they are a little bit late to the party, as everything for soO is gonna be in a lot of trouble. I mean, yeah, that's gotta be it, right? How are you gonna defend this?
GG, well played.
GG. INnoVation taking back the lead of the series here. Back
Yeah,
into
but
his own hands.
everything started with just the fact that he killed 20 drones early on. Right,
Yeah,
it
that's
just
true.
snowballed big time, and again, it kind of took him a little bit to defend and win, but eventually, with this kind of losses early games, Zerg really struggles in general.
Alright. Alright.
Mhm.
Let's wait and see what the map pick will be.
Mhm.
Zen. Wait. Alright, so there after this one we will have what's it called? Eternal Empire. Alright.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just prepping myself mentally to not ask what map they want after there's no maps available anymore.
Okay, cool.
You know, I always embarrass myself that way. Trying to avoid it this time anyway. Yeah, Zen. You know what? I've kind of gotten used to Eternal Empire being picked quite early in the series. In most series, but it's not happening here.
Yeah, that's a good point. And soO picking Zen, I'm a little surprised because I thought it's slightly more Terran map than Zerg map. Maybe I didn't play that much on Zen actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure either. We've had this discussion last time as well, right? I think on Zen. I mean, it does kind of feel like a map that can go both ways.
Yeah.
Really.
And soO is kind of aggressive player, so maybe there is some aggression here that he wants to abuse on this map.
Yeah, actually, that might be right. His mid-game style might work out rather nicely. It's those 4 bases, well maybe 3 bases that are quite easily defendable. And then the 4th base kind of as well, right? Not too difficult to start to keep defending that. And,
Yeah, but actually, you know, Swarmhosts seem to have quite easy time to get to the main, also to the natural from the low ground. And it's hard to catch them as well. So maybe, you know, Swarmhosts could be very strong on this map.
That's true actually. Yeah, a lot of places where you can just kind of put those Nidus Swarms in, right next to the main base. Or on the low ground here. That's a good point. Solid point. Anyway, I'm gonna have to let these players decide on what they're gonna do. In the top right side, we have the blue Terran player. He is, well, back in the lead, 1 point away from being on match point. The blue Terran INnoVation from Team KaiZ. Who, if I am to believe Matisse, which, you know what, I probably should, is a billionaire Chinese team. Or a Chinese team from a billionaire Chinese person. Well,
Yeah, that's what
Not
I've
too
been
bad.
told.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna blindly assume that is the right thing.
Hmm.
I don't know what else it could be, honestly. Anyway, his opponents. You want to do this one or?
Sure. At the bottom left side from Team Africa, it's soO.
Again, we're seeing the exact same opener from soO here.
Every single game almost.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, has there been an opening? Like, I think it might be actually every single game.
Yeah. And that's pretty interesting. And it's low commitment, it's only 2 links, right? And
Yeah.
INnoVation is scouting with CV again. Like imagine right now he pops down a road for it, right? There is no way you scout this, and with Reapers you don't even know that these roaches are coming. They might, show up at your natural base and suddenly you're toast, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's and now he's coming back with the links because he knows that Reaper is gonna be at home. So
You know
that's
what?
pretty interesting mind game from both of these players.
I remember. I remember seeing this a lot from DRG as well. Actually, the 2
Recently.
links. Yeah, recently DRG has been doing this pretty much a lot as well. He keeps the links at home too. He doesn't really go for any sort of aggression with it. I think it might also be, in a way, to stay safe against proxy racks, right? Because you are able to just send those links out and get a good scout of around your base, around your vicinity to see if there's anything proxied as well.
Yes, but on the other hand, you're only starting with 2 links, and pull first with 2 links is surprisingly bad against proxies.
I see.
This is quite economical opening still, and it might just someone might feel less inclined to do proxy against this because he sees pull first. I'm not gonna proxy.
Yeah.
But in fact, if you open with 2 links initially, then you just don't have enough larvae and not enough links to actually push the marines back. So this looks safe, but it's not really safe. So
Okay.
that's also surprising. And when you build 4 links initially, or even 6, then it's quite easy hold, right? And INnoVation has no idea whether soO is gonna do that or not. So he is afraid to gamble. So maybe that's the reasoning behind this. But I think it's generally quite proxy would maybe work against this.
That is interesting. Well, anyway, we're seeing a fusion core again, coming out of INnoVation here. Once again, really enjoying the battlecruisers this time around, and the mech as well.
Yeah, have we seen the bio game at all?
No,
I think
no.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen semi-bio with 2 Marauders and a Marine with the Hellbats. Not sure if we can call that bio though, to be fair.
Well, he transitioned into mech afterwards.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
Well, so
probably
last
no.
week we had pure bio, and except 1 game, and here we have a lot of mech. So it's very learning experience, I would say.
Yeah, that's really cool actually. Being able to see the differences. Those links got in there just at the exact right time.
Yep. Did he see Fusion Core? He didn't, but he saw a tech lab on Starport, which is usually enough. You just build more queens, and that's it. Right? Terrans like to, bash queens as being too strong against everything, and in some ways they might even be. Right? So the response is to get more queens, and you're happy. Zerk.
Queens are always good. They're always a good choice. It's hard to overbuild queens.
Well, I mean, early on, if you go too many queens, you're gonna suppress your economy a bit too much, right? You just don't have enough minerals to build drones. But other than that, right now, for example, all 3 hatches could be building queens and nothing wrong would happen, I think. However, soO is rushing to Spire very early, so I think he cuts queens a little bit so that he can get sooner Spire.
It's in the middle of it as well, though. Battlecruiser is doing a lot of damage. More queens coming in. The Hellbat's right on top of it as well.
Yeah, and soO was greedy boy again, and he's literally 1 Zergling and not 4 roaches popped. So he's kind of in trouble, I think. Although maybe he might hold this. Let's see.
Oh, there's no creep on the ramp here on the right side either. Okay, it doesn't seem to matter. The queen's still just sliding on by there, and you know what? He is holding here for now. 2 more Hellions though coming in on the 3rd base. Might be able to get a couple of drone kills. Gets 1, and that's where it's gonna stay at for now. Hellbats though still in the main base. Yeah, targeting down a queen, unfortunately there.
I think INnoVation got a little too excited about that queen. There was completely unprotected 3rd base with a lot of juicy drones to roast there, and that would have been probably a better target than chasing the queen through half of map and
Yeah.
still not getting it, I think.
Makes sense. Nice. Oh, reasonable run by as well taking place. Only getting 2 worker kills though for soO here, but roaches as well. Poking down the front door.
Yeah, but there's a DC that's gonna chase them away, so I don't think, yeah, they're not gonna do anything. They're just running away. We can't
Yeah.
shoot up, man. We can't. Let's run away.
It makes sense. Makes sense. I would run away if a giant enormous warship is chasing me as well.
Yeah, and I think in lore, battle cruisers are supposed to be like super huge and stuff, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would be cool if you could land roaches on top of the battle cruisers and then somehow, some way. But yeah, it's basically backwards perspective, right? Normally the things that are closer to you seem smaller, but in StarCraft 2 it's the other way around. The battle cruisers are closer to you, but that makes them look smaller. It's interesting how that works. Anyway, this is quite a big attack actually of roaches coming across the map here.
yeah,
Quite a
this
couple
might
of-
work. This might work because he just lost 1 BC. And INnoVation has only 2 tanks. So this is type of push I was talking about, and I really quite often recommend my students to do it because it's just so easy to execute and so difficult to defend. You just build 66 drones and you just build a couple of corrupt and you just kill your opponent. Yes.
GG. That's it. That's all she wrote. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we still have more maps to go, but...
Yeah, but you know, BC into mech is generally quite greedy opening, right? You
Yeah.
have a 3rd base to build, you have a lot of infrastructure to build. So just build 66 drones, get a couple of corruptors, just enough to deter the BCs, and then just you max out on Roach Ravager Link, and it's very, very tough to hold this as a Terran because you're gonna have 200 when Terran has something like 130, 40, and I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for example, so soO in this game decided I'm not gonna let you go, let away with greedy build, get away with greedy build. I'm just gonna punish it and kill it. And in start, nice, congratulations,
Thank you.
did it. Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, hosting another lobby successfully.
Okay, congratulations.
Just forgetting a slight detail there in trying to get everybody in. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're all here now, which is all that
the
matters.
score? It's 3-3.
It is in fact 3-3. So I mean, we can't ask for much more here, Matisse. It is. It is about as good as it's gonna get, and it looks like both players are ready as well. So. You know what, this might be a good opportunity. Guys, we do have a Matcherino page that is available for use. If you want to help out these players, help us out as well in the process. Make sure that you use that Matcherino page. And it is on the top left there. Or the top, is that the top right for you? It's just left for me. It's just above the chat. There is a little link and then a code as well available. Hop on over there, grab that code, and... you know what? Support esports for nothing other than a couple of mouse button clicker runos, and you should be fine. I mean, if there's anything StarCraft 2 players can do, it's clicking keys very quickly.
Yes.
And you have the opportunity to show that exact thing right now. So help us out, guys. We would very much appreciate it. All right, indeed. Anywhere on the map. I'm not sure which one I'm going to introduce here. I think the blue one. Let's go with the blue one first. It's in the top right. Code's been used up. Alright, well, never mind then. That's I guess that's a good thing, right? I'm proud about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have 2 Maturino pages. Is that a thing that's possible? I don't know. Anyway, he's INnoVation. There we go. It's the best introduction I've ever done.
Okay, and in bottom left side we have Korean Zerg that just managed to tie up the series. He's from Africa. It's soO.
It's funny. It's funny. He's the Korean Zerg from Africa.
All right. I just don't know what is SC2 there. Is it StarCraft 2? Is Season 2 or what is it? I don't know. So
Yeah.
I just...
Well, it's close enough, right? I mean...
Yeah.
I still don't understand why they called themselves Africa. It must be some sort of Korean word, right, as well? No? I'm not completely sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be. Anyway... Look at what's happening. Is that what I... Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Could this
Well,
be because of the map?
I never thought you would say, or someone would say, it's Hutch first, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Who could have guessed? It's
Yeah.
actually happening, and he's making more links this time around as well.
That's standard. He just wanted to defend the Reaper, which the Reaper is not coming his way, by the way.
That's pretty funny, actually. It's like, alright, I'm gonna stay at home. I know what you're up to, sir.
Yeah, because he didn't SCV scout this time, so he doesn't know whether it's pull first or not. So he assumes it is, because 6 times in a row it was. So these guys just love mind gaming each other in an early game, it seems.
Yeah, getting that very quick third base as well here without any much delay whatsoever. And you know what? There is a third command center on the way as well for INnoVation. Very quickly here. I guess both of them... Yeah, most of the games we've been having just a lot of straight up macro games. I think soO tried to do the one-time Roach aggression right earlier on in the game, and then the one time with the... Well, I guess 2 times maybe potentially. The other one felt a little bit later on, but I don't know, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, yeah, INnoVation doing the one time. Marauder, Hellbat's opening.
Yep.
Maybe some Marauder Banshee as well. But nothing really in the very early parts of the game, right? Nothing proxied, nothing of the 2 base from Zerg. Nothing absolutely insanely aggressive like that.
Yep. There's, you know, these guys are so good that if someone was out of them was trying something really weird, most of the time they just know how to react, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure INnoVation or soO played, what, 30,000 games? Maybe 50,000 games? They've seen a lot. They really
Zillion, trillion, Matisse, I'd say.
Yeah. So, you're not gonna surprise them with 2 base, you know?
Nope.
As a Zerg, for example, right? Like, what is gonna be? There's not that many options, you know? It's gonna be Nidus, Mutas, maybe Roach Push, maybe some crazy Lurker Rush or something, or Banelings,
I don't
right?
even
But,
know. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't think any of these options is particularly good.
Yeah.
So nowadays, everyone just got so good that going 3 bases is kind of just default, you know.
And then afterwards, you can try to surprise your opponents. So, you
Yeah,
know what? Again, we're seeing the battle cruisers. Not too much of a surprise anymore.
Yeah, people will say that BCs are enablers of mech, kinda, because you don't want to go mech without battlecruisers, because you're very vulnerable to Roger Lingolins or Swarm Hosts and stuff like that, and BCs just allow you, you know, to harass the Zerg, to force him to build something else than Swarm Host, buy you more time to build up a larger army. And, you know, both Banshees and BCs are very mobile, so it's much easier to catch, for example, Niduses that pop up and stuff like that. So, and if you get caught off position, you can always teleport your BCs. So, they have really nice synergy with mech, I would say, and most of people just play, whenever they play mech, they play BC. And it's not like Zerg can easily punish this, you know. I mean, this was pretty greedy version with 3 CC first. Roach Ravager Link, I think, might punish this, but in general, you don't want to like it's relatively safe and fine, right? And it gives insane economy as well.
True, true. Yeah.
And as you see, these battle cruisers nowadays, they almost deal no damage. They kill a couple of drones at max, maybe kill Overlord, maybe kill a Queen, but that's all. So they are...
He's not getting anything, actually, in
Yes.
fact. 0 kill battle cruiser here.
Yeah, Zerg's got good at handling this, you know, and I'm surprised that soO is handling this so easily even with 7 Queens.
This battle cruiser is gotta go back to base, and they're gonna send him back to the academy, because that's just absolutely shameful. Like, he got a powerful warship and he didn't kill a single thing. That is that's just unacceptable.
That's a fail. Yes, I agree. Yeah, but it's a new normal, you know. BCs are not this scary thing that used to kill a Zerg immediately with 1 BC, you know. So
yeah, this is true.
It's just a normal opening nowadays. You rush to tier 3 unit and the game goes on.
Those roaches not being able to do too much either there. Killing off a single supply depot. I suppose they still did more than the battlecruiser did, but they also took more losses, so... Overall, still things very stable here. 4th base coming down for INnoVation, and a 4th and 5th base coming down for soO.
Yeah, soO seems to be pretty happy. He managed to get the Reach Geyser extractor on it already. Soon he's gonna have 9th and 10th gas as well. So Zerg on 10 gases is generally pretty scary. So let's see what he decides to follow it up with. But the key to beating mech is having a lot of gas, because every unit that's good against mech is very gas heavy, or at least somewhat gas heavy.
Infestors, Vipers, you mean?
Yeah, Broodlords, Lurkers, Corruptors, even in this position, right? So gas is absolutely essential. Very quick gases at the 4th base are a must if you want to beat mech.
Another good bit of knowledge there. Right. So overall, do you think there's anyone already in like a favorable position? Maybe after the failed aggression from INnoVation, perhaps, but.
I think Zerg is very comfortable, but also Terran to some extent is comfortable as well. So I would say he's maybe, by default, if Zerg takes no damage in early game, I would say Zerg is slightly ahead, especially since soO managed to drone up to 93 drones. But right now,
96 actually.
Yeah, 96. Wow, Jesus. So, but on the other hand, INnoVation is approaching this really good composition. So, yes, he's gonna have slightly less economy, but his units are just more cost effective. So, we'll see how it's gonna go. I would say 200 BC mech is very scary, and I think Zerg. So, I would say it's probably somewhat close with slight advantage for soO, I would say.
Okay. Because, it
seems like people still haven't really figured out good counter to 200 BC mech, and let's see whether soO is gonna show us that he can counter it, or is he gonna fail at this?
He might do. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. Previous time that we did see him play, right, on Triton, it was absolutely marvelous to see him dismantle the mech army, but I do believe Triton maybe has a couple of more opportunities. Just positional wise for the Zerg, perhaps, but...
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it seems very tough to break into this line of tanks as INnoVation for Zerg.
Just the base is overall a bit more spread out on Triton.
Yep, 2 macro hatches for Zerg, so he's preparing for massive remaxes. But the problem is that with the strategy that soO did, right, constant tech switches, what if opponent responds well to your tech switches, right? It's still, you know, not 100% the best way to beat, right? Like, ideally what I want to see is an army that is able to beat mech army right now. And I'm not sure if Zerg has one right now, right? If he gets, you know,
if
9,
you mean
10
INnoVation, and Liberators and some Ghost perhaps.
Yeah, or even I've seen Curie last time he played a couple of BC, 10 tanks and 10 force, and I was thinking, what actually beats this? And I don't know.
Neural parasites, perhaps. I mean, that's what we're seeing right now.
tanks outrange infestors. Right?
They do. So you would need, yeah, you would need crazy micro, I suppose, as well at the same time. Yeah, it does seem a bit problematic, I confess. It's just an incredibly tough thing to deal with. Maybe it is one of those things where you just don't want to engage the main force as much. Try to pull apart your opponents and attack from multiple angles. Try to find the weak points. Just keep trading, you know, your army for economy as well at the same time, so you can whittle down your opponents. But it's rough to say.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm gonna learn this because I don't know.
Let's see if soO figures something out. I mean, he is known as a player that likes to do his own thing. He likes to do his own style, so maybe, perhaps, he's going to be one of those players that just kind of figures something out here.
Yeah, well, so one of the things I was theorizing would work is both Infestors and Vipers. But only the toppest of the pro players can handle them properly at once.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Well, let's see. But in theory, Vipers are supposed to help against siege tanks, and Infestors are supposed to help against PCs, and also maybe Thors. So let's see. The problem with this army is that just Terran has so much DPS, and even if you manage to throw all the spells, the spellcasters are most likely gonna die, and whatever else is left also gonna die. So I don't know. Let's see. I when I was off racing with Terran, I was managing to get some insane 10-to-1 ratio traits with this army that the INnoVation has.
Okay. Yeah, well, we're seeing Broodlords as well coming up right now. Yeah, it's just gonna be rough. I don't think he can really engage this army like you were saying.
Yeah, INnoVation actually split his army, and he has a lot of Hellbats, which are not that good supply. You know, you want more tanks instead of Hellbats in general, I would say, or Thors. So he didn't reach critical mass of tanks or critical mass of Thors with his army. So I'm not sure. This feels a little risky, just splitting his army like that. But so I feel like soO is just gonna attack one of them and just clean them up. But let's see. This is actually really good from economic perspective for INnoVation. Okay, and yes.
Massive blinding clouds.
Yes. He completely decimates his army. However, there's, you know, I don't think this expensive army should be split like this. I guess he's killing stuff. He killed bait, so maybe, but he's gonna lose both of these armies, and those were really expensive armies, I think. So I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of this move.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think you're right. It's gonna be very rough, and he's not at a point like previously. I suppose his economy is pretty good overall, right? So, you know what, his army supply, even though he just lost that massive army, it's still equal right here. He's producing 3 tanks at a time, 2 Thors there as well, so 5, and then 6 Hellions as well. So, again, he's just resupplying his army very quickly here, as we are seeing.
I guess it's working fine. He managed to kill almost all the bases, and soO temporarily was on 6 gases. And 6 gases is very bad at this point. He's gonna have 8 soon, but still, it's a lot of time. So I think soO needs to do something right now, and he should be able to. Let's see.
Take a look, those Broodlords are coming in here, the Lynx as well, just getting in the nick of time on top of that planetary fortress, almost about to be ready. Broodlords wailing away from a distance as well. Lift up has been used there on that top left base. Bailing out, or circling has been put underneath, so it's going to be difficult for INnoVation to clean it out here and start mining once again. soO looks like he will rotate around, or at least trying to find some sort of an opening here. Having a bit of a difficulty here with the pathing, it looks like, because of that wall that INnoVation made there. The Broodlord's actually completely out of position here, caught off guard. And he is going to be punished quite severely by being that brazenly with that position. Right, in come a couple of parasitic bombs. Great split so far from INnoVation, but ooh, is it going to be enough still in the end?
Yeah, losing almost every single Broodlord like this is actually a classic soO move. He quite often leaves them completely unprotected, and they are very expensive. So this is not something you should do. So Um, on one hand, this bank for soO is amazing, but on the other hand, his trades don't look so good in general. However, he manages to clean up another army from Terran, so I guess he's still fine, but it's just such a painful thing to lose all your broodlords. I have nightmares about this.
I think he did it on purpose. He just decided that he wanted to have Ultralisks instead. I'm not sure if this is going to work out. I mean, Liberator's already on the way. I don't know how INnoVation knows about this. How can he know? How does he
Maybe
know
he
that he should be
scanned.
making 6? Well, yeah,
I
but then
think
still.
he's scanning. As a mech player, you're supposed to scan main and the natural very often at this point because you want to determine what kind of tech switch is going on for the Zerg. And
He
ultras
didn't see
against
it.
mech are pretty bad, I think. So I don't expect these ultras to achieve a lot.
He didn't see the Ultralisk Gavin though.
He didn't?
No.
Really?
You can check.
I don't
He didn't. He
I
didn't
don't
see it.
know. I don't know. Maybe then he decided he wants to transition to these liberators. I mean, they make sense. It's just good. So
They are good units, yeah, I agree, but it's just not as
maybe
great
he
against the
was
Brute Lords.
oh, I think he was expecting just the lurker switch again
Oh,
after
maybe, yeah.
losing all the broodlords.
That
Right?
makes sense.
And by accident, liberators are also very good against ultralisks.
These Ultralisks look absolutely amazing, by the way. Look at that skin. It's one of the best skins right now in the game.
Is it Brood War skin?
Sorry?
Is it Brood War skin?
Yeah, it is. So they are coming in here. A little bit of a difficult choke to come through, but at the same time, INnoVation deciding, you know what you can do, I can do better with my army. And in he comes around the bend into the natural base. Both players go. The Ultralisk here for soO now splitting off too, so he can keep killing some stuff here and sending a lot backwards, trying to deal with this army of INnoVation that is now just tormenting his natural base here. He needs to keep the Ultralisk Cavern alive for a short moment. Infestus are behind setup. They might be able to get some nice neural parasites there. A massive surround is taking place here. If anything is gonna work out here, it's gonna be this. Vipers trying to come in here. Blinding Clouds being pretty reasonable on top of the Thors here. And you know what, soO is gonna clean up again, but look at the supply. Matisse, it's not looking ever so favorably for soO, but that bank though.
Yeah. Look at the bank. That's what I wanted to reply with. So, but this is the last big bank of soO. I think he's gonna remax now or soon, and then he's gonna burn most of his bank, and then he has much lower chances of replenishing his army again because he has only 57 drops, right? So both of them are trading blows and trading their armies, but it's INnoVation that is able to afford them, while soO not so much.
soO lost his Great Aspire there.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what kind of composition he wants to go for right now. This is, these 12 liberators, they make the ultras, semi-obsolete, I would say.
Yeah, they really do, and soO doesn't really have much else of a choice. I mean, what is he gonna do otherwise? Make banelings and roaches? Doesn't seem like the right choice right now.
Yeah, I think I'm liking the position for INnoVation more and more. Simply because the number of drones for soO is very low. I think if he replenished them to, let's say, 75, he would be fine, although he's still at ultras, which are not particularly great units against mech, especially liberators too. But right now, it's just he doesn't have ability to remax his army, while INnoVation clearly has.
Yeah, this is true. I think he was waiting a long time to replenish his forces there as well, so he could, in fact, make the Corruptors and try to make some Broodlords afterwards as well, perhaps. Which is why he held off on making those, well, using up his bank there for a while, even though he did have the supply for it.
Yeah, so
soO
realizes he cannot fight main army of INnoVation, so he just goes elsewhere and tries to attack fresh bases of INnoVation. That's a very good call, because there was no chance his army would actually beat INnoVation's army. And those are two fresh bases, and most of the other bases of INnoVation are close to getting mined out. So suddenly economy of INnoVation is also very bad. So now there is, and also he managed to outmaneuver INnoVation, right now catching all the liberators with corruptors, and suddenly this split was insanely good. Just that decision to go to the left and avoid the main fight, it really made soO maybe able to come back right there. However, he also lost most of his bases right now. He's simply on one base with 30 workers. So if he manages to kill all the Thorns on the right, I think he has a fair chance to win this game, but he really has to do it now. And they managed to
The
connect
Liberators.
with the Liberators, and I don't think, and that window is closed, and INnoVation is still maxed out on 45 SCVs, which means his army supply is something like 155, which is pretty insane. And I think right now soO again doesn't kind of know what to do.
Yeah, it's looking more and more difficult here. I mean, as you said, it was a really good maneuver, killing off 2 of those bases. It might have to try and make a repeat happen of that. INnoVation, though, not remaking the bases on that same side, going for the other one this time around so he can use the cover of his army. But here is the big engagement. Neural is being taken place. Parasitic Bomb as well at the same time. The Ultralisk, though, absolutely getting vaporized.
Okay, so this is why you don't play Ultras against Mac. This was the example.
Yeah.
Please take it into heart, everyone. Don't play Ultras against Mac.
Maybe if he came from multiple angles there, making it more difficult for the Liberators to just continuously be shooting at Ultras, but even the Thors do alright against him.
Yeah, actually, Thors are pretty good. I think they win 1v1 against Ultra.
Yeah, and GG is called. soO tapping on out of there, putting INnoVation on match points here. Not too shabby indeed. That means that the map pool does get reset. soO is gonna be able to have map pick here, and well, let's see if he makes proper use of it. Let's take a look. He wants to go back on Simulacrum.
Yep.
Simulacrum.
Not easy, not easy.
No, really not. I'm pretty sure, like, whoever made this map was just laughing at the time when he was like, you know what I should do? Just make the worst name imaginable, and then just like watch streams of people trying to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Because why not? Why not? Alright, anyway, let me put a lobby link here again as well.
Simulacrum.
Simulacrum. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose if I'm actually trying to pronounce it correctly continuously, you know, maybe then I will be able to pronounce it eventually, but I'm just, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. You know, I like the idea that the map maker wants it to be hard to pronounce, so I'm just sticking with it. I'm just sticking with it.
I guess it's more memorable this way.
Yeah.
Like, you remember the map you struggled with naming, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The other ones like Nightshade, they might fade away in your memory.
Yeah. I remember the maps that either I liked the most or I hated the most, I think.
Yeah. Like what maps? What maps did you like the most?
I don't know, Daybreak, I really like this. Well, I'm a camper, so I like Daybreak. It was really campy map. What else did I like? I like Belshir Vestige. Really cool map, very balanced. I feel maybe slightly hard for Zerg, but very enjoyable with Mutaling Bane against mines and bio, I would say. Lost Temple, I remember because people were dropping tanks on that cliff near my natural base. Do you remember Lost Temple? Or
Yeah. That was a rough one.
Yeah, so for Zerg, it was. Okay, so
we are gonna have to cut this short because well, there is some stuff happening here. In the bottom right side, we have a red Terran player. He is playing for Kaisi INnoVation.
And in the top left corner, we have a Korean Zerg player from Africa. It's soO. Okay, I really need to check what's the Africa SC2 mean. Is it just StarCraft 2?
Yeah, that's what they used to be called, I think. They used to be Africa SC2, and then they changed it to the Freaks.
Okay, well, this is that proxy racks, but only 2 raxes, so it's not really committed aggression.
It's
And
not
Stu decided to go for hatch first.
a horrible mistake.
Yeah, and INnoVation also got gas with it, so it could even be Reapers shortly after initial Marine push. And this makes a lot of sense because when you want to defend Marine proxy, then you cut your speed, or at least you delay it for links. So then suddenly, if you have 2-4 Reapers, they can do quite a lot and further deny the third base and stuff like that. And also, soO built 20 drones instead of 19. So he's gonna have low number of larvae right now available to him, and he's not gonna have too many links. And also bunker finished, so
Yep.
it's not too good for soO so far.
You think he should build? Oh, he's actually gonna go for the Roach Warren. So he's sacrificing the main base then, I suppose.
Yeah,
Or
so
the
Roach
natural
Warren
base.
response. Yes, Roach Warren response is something you want to do against 3 racks and 4 racks. Against 2 racks, it's very bad because, as you see in the main base of INnoVation, there's already factory going on, getting built, right? So this
Yep.
means he's gonna have Cyclone ready on time by the time soO tries to counter attack. So soO is just trying to salvage the situation and just realize, his response to go roaches is because he didn't manage to respond properly, which is pull drones and pull links, and don't let happen. Don't let the bunker go up.
Yeah. It's a bit unfortunate, and you know what? I still do think that if he went with the pool first, he would have been able to at least see the bunker come up. And you know what? I don't know. I just still feel
Yeah,
like it would be an easier way to hold against stuff like this.
Yeah, I think you are also supposed to have a second overlord in front of your natural or on top of your natural, or
This
at
is
least
true.
in this choke. And
This
I
is another
think he
thing.
didn't. I think he didn't. So that's why he managed to get the bunker up. So from this point on, I think soO is in very, very big trouble. There might be even Banshee ready by the time the roaches are ready to counter attack. So there is no place, there is no chance for soO to actually do any counter damage. And I hope he realizes this, because if he doesn't, INnoVation is probably just gonna win the game.
Yeah, well, he's trying to break out here. He, behind this, doesn't have too much. He's making more drones, so it looks like he will be trying to recuperate his losses here.
Yeah, it seems he just wants to play macro, so soO knows that's his only chance. But if you decide to play macro, that's also a pretty bad situation for Zerg, because
Yeah.
look, INnoVation already has his command center halfway done. So soO is just gonna be extremely behind in economy, and he has no ability to do counter damage. So
Nope.
by reacting with roaches against 2 racks, you already put yourself in very, very bad spot, no matter what you do, assuming Terran reacts properly.
Yeah.
And look how ready he is. There's Banshee, there's tank, there's bunkers, there's full wall. This is extremely bad for soO, because he decided to counter attack, which was, as I said, a mistake. And right now he's gonna pay the price, because he's also gonna lose most of his Ravagers. He should have stayed on.
He's gonna lose all of them, actually. Yeah, that's a rough call for him to make. That is for sure. Unfortunately, he made the wrong one. Even INnoVation putting that command center on the high ground, being even more safe against any type of counter aggression, he really realized that was probably the one way for him to still lose this game. At least fall behind all of a sudden.
Yep.
But yeah, INnoVation again here. The third command center immediately being thrown down. soO as well, with a very quick third hatchery here, but again, it might be difficult for him to hold off against this Banshee aggression.
Well, I think he's gonna be able to manage Banshee, especially since he managed to snipe Cloak, which was a decent success. But he paid way too big price for that, right? In an ideal situation, he would just want to leave all the 6 Ravagers at home, and then he would be in actually quite okay spot. I didn't expect him to drone up so hard and actually be able to catch up in worker count decently. But if he kept these Ravagers at home, then maybe I'm wrong, and maybe a Roach response to 2 racks is not that terrible if you just stay at home with your Ravagers. Because 41 workers against 35 and 6 Ravagers on top of that for Zerg is a quite decent situation, I would say, right? So,
Yeah.
So maybe it's not that bad to react to roaches with roaches to Turax, but there's just no way you can do counter damage if you go for roach response against Turax.
Yeah, the benches on INnoVation have been very passive as well here so far. Not really doing too much. Just flying back around.
He's afraid of just a push from soO again.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He has no information at all that there's now there is a scan in the natural of soO, because he has no clue what's going on. He has absolutely no idea whether there's huge all-in coming. Is it mutas coming? Is it mass roach coming? Whatever. He has no idea whatsoever. So he really needed that scan to just maybe grab a little bit of information. But so he only knows about gases in the natural, and I think this is enough for INnoVation to conclude that there is a lot of drones probably there, since the gases haven't been taken. So if he was trying to all in, soO that is, then he would have gases sooner. And if he's droning up heavily, then he doesn't have gases because he needed a lot of minerals to drone up.
Right, and now finally the benches, they do come in and killing off, well, one queen. That's alright. Also gathering more intel, of course, with those benches. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. INnoVation once again going for the, well, as we are very aware of him right now, loving the mech against Zerg so far. And, you know what, I'm still a little bit, I like just the little bit of a gamble where he does go for the double Rex right from the get-go, right? It's the potentially final game that he has to win, and that's when he just throws down the 2 barracks across the map.
Yeah.
It's like,
might
work, might not.
It wasn't a huge gamble, you know. It was just something you want to apply pressure, right? Terran is a race that likes to apply pressure, and as you see, soO didn't react properly, and you really have to, as a Zerg, just perfect reaction, otherwise you're gonna get behind. And in this case, soO didn't react super perfectly, and that's why he is behind, I think, still, right? Because this is full 3-base Terran with just barely taking a 4th Zerg. So I think INnoVation is pretty happy about how it all went, and I would say INnoVation is just ahead.
It looks like soO did learn from his previous game, though, on Nightshade, where he was having a lot of trouble with those Banshees here. Using 7 works there actually as well, but that Hellion run by. Banshees coming in as well, but yeah, I mean, this time around he is gonna get himself the Hydralisks a lot quicker. He's foregoing the Swarm hosts. Gonna go into Hive Stack very quickly. Now, what do you think? Is that just for the Vipers here? Well,
yeah, most likely. Yeah, there are Vipers. So there are 2 ways of dealing with mech. Either you go Swarm hosts or you go Vipers. Well, there's also Roach Evangeling all in, I guess, right? But so this time, since soO didn't opt to go for Swarm hosts, he decided to just go for Vipers this way. Right? Vipers are just so good and so necessary. Basically, your army as a Zerg is very bad before Vipers and really good after you get Vipers. So you really have to rush it as quickly as you can. And this is, it's 10-minute mark and he already has Vipers. So that means he really rushed them. Right? Especially since there was even a proxy, right? So how early this is, basically.
Oh my god, is he going to lose the Hydra then here? Okay, not yet. Not yet. Might come back around later on. More Hellions in the 3rd base as well here. Well, 4th base, 3rd base. I think it was the 4th. Yeah, it was the 4th.
So soO lost 24 workers right now, and at this point it's not game-ending damage, but it really hurts and slows down the Zerg still. So I think this is very successful harassment so far for INnoVation. Unless he loses all the Banshees, then I guess it's not that great. But he seems to... Okay, he got a bit greedy there.
Anyway, yeah, the transfuse is coming through there just in a nick of time. Honestly, but more more Hellions coming in again here, right on top of those drones.
30 workers in total lost. That's pretty painful.
It's 42 this game already. It is not where you want to be as a Zerg, but I suppose, you know what, with those vibes out, as you said, well, I'm just looking at these siege tank numbers now. That kind of has me troubled. And looking at the supply as well, that is not fancy whatsoever.
Yep, soO pretty much has to deal damage right now. Either deny this command center, maybe kill it even, or at least trade really nicely. But right now, yeah, okay, that's a couple of Vikings for one Viper. Decent, but not enough, right? This is still 4 base Zerg against 5 base Terran. That's
Yeah.
definitely not the place you want to be. Okay, he's catching. That was nice, I guess. Still not enough, right?
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
do much, much more as Zerg. With this kind of style, you want at least 5 Vipers, 6 Vipers maybe, so that these abduct waves, they are very, very big. And right now, he is left with just one abduct, which is, you know, not impressive.
It's not gonna help out too much here. He's putting, well, he's getting the Lurker Den as well, so looks like he will be trying to transition into something else here. But yeah, still INnoVation just solidifying this this massive lead that he managed to get here, it seems. And I suppose soO did get himself another base as well, but overall, let's take a look at the income graph here, and that is, those are red hills of glory for INnoVation that we're seeing here.
Well, if you have 100 workers as the Terran, it's not a surprise that your income is gonna be high.
I suppose he just wants to make another bank so he can remax instantly again on his mech army. That's just the plan here, it seems.
And there's more so in total there is 8 factories. And fusion core and 2 starports, so INnoVation really is feeling the money. He's rich right now and he's getting everything he ever dreamed about.
And he, you know what, it is a little bit like INnoVation was listening to us as well in that one game. I believe that he did lose with mech, right, when he was attacking a couple of times. Or wait, did he lose that one? I'm not quite sure anymore. But yeah, he was being very aggressive, right? And yeah, soO managed to punish the mech army that wasn't fully maxed out yet, as INnoVation just kept trying to push across. And yeah, you mentioned that he should just be looking for those Hellion run buys, and that's definitely what he's doing this time around. Using those Banshees, using those mobile units that aren't as expensive. Oh, massive blinding cloud though. Here come the Lurkers jumping on top of the opportunity. Hydralisk as well. All the siege tanks incapable of firing here. And soO cleaning house. Cleaned the clock of INnoVation here.
Yeah, he totally got caught off guard, and that was very high. He paid a very high price for that.
Yeah.
All his tanks were unsieged. That's already very, very bad for mech engagement in general. And also, all of them got clamped up, which means just 2 blinding clouds covered like 15 tanks or something.
It was crazy. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. So suddenly, through a really good engagement, suddenly soO puts himself back into the game. But this is not over. With the remax capabilities that INnoVation has, he's taking a huge blow, but he's probably not dead yet.
I think that fight though, it took a little bit too early. INnoVation didn't have the bank that we, saw in previous games here, and it is feeling like it's snowballing a little bit here. Another base might go down.
Good point.
And oh my dear lord. Alright, well, Liberators are going to get added into the army composition of INnoVation here, but INnoVation, I guess he does have those 3 command centers here at the top side of his bases. So he's going to be able to quickly retake a couple of bases here, but still, I mean, soO is lurking rather closely. INnoVation's gonna have to retake some ground here, and one good blinding cloud. No, he's gonna go for the abducts. I see Cheng's falling.
Yeah, I think this is looking more and more comfortable for soO, because look at the supply and look at the bank, and look at the drone count, and look at the base count. Suddenly, this is 5, 6 base Zerg almost against 4 base Terran, maybe 5 soon. So, and right now he's outmaneuvering INnoVation. So let's see. Okay, I think he's not gonna go through there. Okay, so that one tank at the 3rd base really saved INnoVation. Otherwise, soO would probably establish a huge concave and cut his army off from the 3rd base. So INnoVation is stabilizing, but definitely he threw entire lead that he had.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely making this a game again. Now the time comes for him, I suppose, again, right, to play more defensively, not try to be as aggressive like we have been seeing him do a couple of times here and there, ramping up that aggression, but it's gonna be rough. for him to try and hold on here. I mean, soO on the other hand as well, right? He can just keep INnoVation, I suppose, on these full bases, and that should be more than enough for him. He can just dry out those bases for INnoVation, and then whenever he tries to maneuver anywhere else, he can pick off units again, try to pick off bases again.
Sure, but on the other hand, the army of INnoVation is starting to get scared. Oh my god, these blinding clouds again. You really need to spread your units as a mech player. However, that's what I was trying to say. Even though he managed to land absolutely marvelous blinding clouds, this army of Terran is starting to get scary. This is 13 siege tanks. This is a nice number of Vikings. If he manages to establish this 5th base, the game continues.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right. What about that location overall for soO? Honestly, I didn't really like it. It still felt like a rather, you know what, it's a large choke point, but it's still a choke point that he tried to wiggle himself through. Even with those blinding clouds, with just Hydralisk there, didn't really feel like the way to go.
Generally, the best moment to attack a Terran is not when he's entrenched on the number of bases he has, but when he's trying to take a new base. Right?
Yeah.
That's the case with TVP, and that's also the case in late game ZvT especially, right? Like if the Terran suddenly gets much more stretched out, suddenly the planetary is not ready yet. It's just much more difficult to defend as a Terran in those situations. So whenever you see Serral attack his opponent, you will see that very often he tries to line it up with the moment that Terran is trying to expand. And especially in this situation, attacking, 20 tanks that is fully sieged up in choke point is just asking to get murdered. While right now, so the timing is passed again. And so because he lost that battle, INnoVation was able to take a 5th base for free. But if he didn't lose the battle before, suddenly INnoVation would really, really struggle to get a position like this. And right now, it's too late. Attacking that 5th base, it's kind of not possible with the 3 tanks there.
Got unsieged. The worst time possible. Blinding clouds, are they gonna hit? Yeah, they are. It's gonna be enough though. 1 more blinding cloud, 2, 3 more blinding clouds. Absolutely devastating. All the Hydralisks getting on top of those siege tanks, and this time around, oh my dear lord, this might just be enough for him to force his way through. It's gonna be close, and he isn't. Well, oh my dear lord, it's gonna work out, I think, here for soO. He might get cleaned up though, but he's gonna do a little bit of damage here at least.
Yep. There's still 10 tanks there, so it's maybe not over, but it's not looking good definitely for INnoVation. But I would say soO manages to win this game. It's not because, he managed to catch INnoVation twice and really, pounced on the opportunity, but it's the game that INnoVation lost, not the game that's won, I would say. These mistakes that he did, they were not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to have 20 tanks that are being covered with 3 blinding clouds and your entire army is completely immobilized. That's just not supposed to happen. So, I don't know, was it because of good soO moves? I'm not so sure, but it seems just he was very vigilant and he was waiting for INnoVation to make these mistakes. So it definitely took advantage of the opportunity, but INnoVation shouldn't have given him the opportunity in the first place.
Makes sense to me, yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's really good though for soO that he is still vigilant indeed and sees those opportunities, jumps on them, but like you're saying, definitely just INnoVation giving those for free. Another base not really managing to get destroyed there. The siege tanks did maneuver in the right position in time. And the siege tanks, what is this? Flanking siege tank squadron. Being able to...
INnoVation decided he needs to deal some damage. I'm not a huge fan of this move. Yes, he denies mining and stuff, but he's not in a position that he can afford losing 4 tanks for free. Although I guess he's killing a little bit of Hydras with it, so maybe it's fine. Yeah, it's actually okay trade, I would say.
He killed off the 2 gas geysers there as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
And he killed a couple of lurkers on the bottom middle side as well at the same time.
True. Well, that's the thing. Like, attacking in multiple locations always distracts the opponent, and it seems soO struggled with this here and also struggled in previous games a little bit as well. Well, if INnoVation manages to secure this base, the game continues. This is another location that he can drop mules into. This is another location he can get more gas from. And look, it's 160 supply. He's stabilizing a little bit there again.
Yeah.
So maybe there is chance. And the thing is, soO is still on kind of not that great composition. This is Hydra, Lurker, Viper. This is probably one of the best compositions Zerg has. But a fully developed, well microed and well split tank army should still be fine against this, assuming you don't get, you know, these massive blinding.
soO is gonna attempt his best here, trying to come in. Massive blinding clouds once again. He's gonna pick off a couple of siege tanks, but he has no idea that there's still 5 more siege tanks just waiting for him here. He has to retreat, but he does kind of get in between the bases now. Can he still manage to take out some reinforcing units, perhaps? Off a couple of those orbitals here as well. Not too shabby. INnoVation though, taking the opportunity. Those lurkers right here, there's 3 of them not shooting. They're on hold position and then missing the opportunity to jump on top of those units there. That is very unfortunate.
So INnoVation lost his 3rd base here. You know why? Because he sacrificed these 4 tanks before to kill the drones at the top base, right? If he had those 4 tanks sieged up there, he would be more than happy and really in very good position. But these 4 tanks, they weren't there, so suddenly he managed to, you know, lose a command center, lose a lot of SCVs, also a bit of army, and now he has to retreat from the outer base that he really needed to take. And now he's trapped, and I think this might be GG right there.
It's looking like it, very much so. soO's coming from all sorts of angles. There is again another squadron of units trying to siege up that same location, but that is gonna be it. A tied up situation one more time in this best of 9.
4-4, man.
Yeah, we're going to game number 9 here. INnoVation is gonna have map choice though, and let us think it through. Last time he picked, what did he pick last time again? First time around? I'm not even sure anymore. It's been so long ago. It's ages ago, Matisse. We've been going for...
all these games are becoming a one big blur.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's see. He's gonna go for... What? I'm so confused. That's the map he lost, isn't it? Alright, I mean, if he feels comfortable on Triton, I'm not gonna stop him, but to me, it feels like he... He might just be convinced that Triton is still a good map for him, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Well,
it's rough.
Let's hope. I mean, he knows what he's doing, I guess, right?
He knows. Yeah, he should know, at least.
Yeah, this is good series, though. Really good one.
Again, yeah. It's really fun to see the difference in between the mech and the bio that we had last week, and now we're just seeing massive mech plays. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Once again, toilet.
Cool. All right. Right, the final game. Here we go, guys. Let me just make Matisse referee as well, and we will get things started. Thank you all for joining us today. INnoVation versus soO. What a series so far. INnoVation, you know what? It looks like he's been practicing his mech play. It's not fully there yet. Definitely still some stuff that needs to be ironed out, right? There's a couple of things where he's moving out in certain locations where it feels like he's kind of maneuvering his mech army as if it is a bio army in a way. So not completely adjusted to that situation just yet, but you know what? So far, it's given us one hell of a series. Anyway, here we go. The final game in this best of 9, guys. Whoever takes this final map on Triton will be the person victorious in this best of 9 series and will be able to take home the bacon, or the larger majority of the bacon. In the top left side, we have a red Terran player. He is fighting for Kaizi, a billionaire Chinese team. He is INnoVation. In the bottom right, the Zerg, the blue. It is the soO. Fighting for Afrika Freaks. Afrika Freaks.
Okay, I'm back.
It's Afrika. How did it say it again? Something like that. A little catchphrase. Welcome back. Welcome back as well.
Okay.
And here we go. soO back to his old shenanigans. Coming with that spawning pool first. Gas again very late afterwards. It looks like it's gonna be just a regular 2-ling build here. And you know what? He did just get proxied previous game, right? He lost his hatchery. He went roaches against the 2-Rex. He tried to counterattack, and he still just wiggled himself into a victory there, because INnoVation just not the best at that time, getting caught off guard with that massive army being just absolutely strucken down into its grave.
Yep, definitely.
It's like a big ginormous wave of a Zerg just engulfed the entirety of the Terran army there, and made it disappear into the, well, I want to say sea, but I guess Simulacrum isn't very much sea-like. As if it's a metal sea. Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of these metal maps in Total Annihilation. Did you play that game, maybe? It was like 20 years ago.
Is it? I think it rings a bell.
Yeah, it was very popular RTS in the late 90s.
Ah, okay. I think I may have missed it, honestly.
Ah, okay.
I may be mistaking it with Planetary Annihilation then.
Yeah, it's Planetary Annihilation is a spiritual successor of Total Annihilation.
Oh, okay. Well, I've played that one.
Yeah, me too. I liked it a lot too.
I liked it a lot too, but you know what? My planet just kept being blown up entirely.
Well, isn't it fun to do so?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Alright, so what do we have here? That's okay, standard openings for both players.
Yeah, it looks like it. Hoping to see again, we're seeing that tech cloud right next to the starport, so I'm feeling the battle cruisers again here. I'm feeling it even more so now, and you know what, even more so now, so I'm feeling very comfortable. Well, it might be Banshees too, actually. It's Banshees. Oh, for God's sake. Alright.
Okay, well. By the way, I noticed something weird. The Marine in the main base of Terran. And then you go down the base. There are those 2 mineral patches that are on top of each other at the 4th base of Terran, potential 4th or 3rd maybe even.
Yes.
Do you see that? It's kind of weird. Is it supposed to be like that?
I think it's one of the mineral patches that gotten moved, because before there used to be a mineral patch blocking another thing, so there used to be a mule trap on this map. So I think it might be a remnant because of that.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
well,
on the other side as well.
So INnoVation is gonna go bio in the last game.
Really, what in the world are we watching here?
Yeah.
What type of dark magic made him go this route?
Well, that's just ultimate mind game, you know. Like after 8 times, are you gonna off mech? Are you gonna expect bio?
You know what? I'm not even sure anymore. I'm not even sure anymore. I don't think soO does though. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's going roaches, and roaches are not that great against bio in general, I'd say.
True. Unless if you go mass marine, but then again, still.
Well, I mean, marines with upgrades and medivacs and stuff, they're still okay.
They're gonna do okay.
Against roaches, I guess. Yeah.
Wait, why was everything blinking here in the main base?
Yeah, there was a Reaper.
Oh, the Reaper, that makes sense.
Reaper scouting. It's a good scout. You want to know the timing of lair, you want to know whether you're getting all in or not, and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
really good scout for.
Yeah, INnoVation is pretty aware right now. Is soO aware of what's happening in INnoVation space though? I don't think he is. He
Not at
really
all.
isn't.
He didn't manage to sneak any links. The only indicator right now would be if you run in with a Zergling to the natural base of INnoVation, just see all the Marines sitting there. So
Yeah.
if I'm INnoVation, I would maybe even try to hide them somehow. But it's still, I think soO is completely oblivious still.
Yeah, he's making it even less obvious by having those Banshees, having those Hellions. Those Banshees, unfortunately, not really being able to do anything, though. Well, I guess 6 kills, was it? I guess that's something.
Well, 6
That's
kills is
something.
decent, but losing 2 Banshees right now, it's quite big cost, so it's not worth it. I would say right now it was very good trade for soO, and if
Yeah.
he knew about Bio coming, he would be in very, very good position. Right now, since he still might not know, he
I
might
think he
get
does.
really surprised.
He's building an infestation pit and a Hydralisk den. No Baneling nest whatsoever.
Yeah. So he might decide to go for Roach Hydra Viper against the Bio tank, and that's not that great.
Okay,
Not
now
that
he
great.
should know.
Yeah, he definitely knows now, right?
Yeah, it should.
He's about to get attacked, right?
Yeah! Might be too late, too little.
Oh, I just realized he's gonna go Lurkers.
Ah, alright.
And Lurkers are very strong against Bio.
Yeah,
So that's a idea here.
that's true,
So
that's true.
it allows, so introduction of Lurkers allowed us to maybe even go Roaches in mid game against Bio and not feel bad about this. But this drop to the main base, it might be game ending. It is killing a lot of drones. Yes, that's 10 drones for free. That's a spore. Could it kill Hive?
No.
Sorry, Lair?
Alright.
It
Oh
can.
my god.
It can. It might.
Oh
And it
my
would.
dear lord, please.
And if it
Don't let it
does,
end
yes.
like this. Oh my dear lord.
So that's type of a game-ending damage. So I'm not saying soO is dead,
Ah.
but he's in deep, deep trouble right now.
Oh, and
Because
it
he's
gets
not
blocked
gonna
as
have
well.
his lurker upgrades if he decides to get them, so or vipers or anything. And Hive enables Roach Hydra or Roach Hydra Viper to be decent against tank Bio. So it was massive pickoff, and INnoVation must be smiling right now to himself. Or does he ever smile though?
I think he does, yeah. Yeah, he has a little smirk on his face.
Yeah, I saw that's true. I saw
And then
that.
he pushes his glasses up to his face, you know, it's been like the anime style.
Yeah.
It's like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Evil, evil. But yeah, I mean, soO,
Okay.
not out of this yet, I suppose, like you're saying. But,
So just managed to buy 2 medivacs full of bio.
Oh, what?
So that's a huge pickup for him, but it's not enough. He still needs more than that. INnoVation is really dropping left and right, and that's what you're supposed to do against compositions that don't have Link Bane or even, for example, that are not Mutalisks. You don't really want to fight head on against them. You just want to out harass them because Roaches, Hydras, they're all slow. So just attacking left, right with double medivac is way stronger rather than just attacking full front, because Roach Hydra Viper is a composition that is good in direct fights and not so good in chasing drops and everything. Because even if you get caught, you can just load up to medivacs and run away. Exactly what is INnoVation doing right now.
Hive Tech now again being restarted, and you know what? It's still not incredibly late considering what has happened. Still
True.
10 minutes. And
Yeah,
because it's soO as well.
Stabilize surprisingly well, and maybe INnoVation is giving him a little too much time. This is still only 16 Roaches and 20 Hydras with 7 tanks. I think he had a window just before Lurkers or Vipers to maybe kill soO there. This is fully maxed out, Terran army, and this is just Roach Hydra. Roach Hydra is not a good composition against this type of army that INnoVation has. So he decides to move out, but that's slightly late and not with every single tank. So there's still maybe small chance for soO if he manages to, for example, stall enough out so that he can get Vipers.
Yeah, I mean, the Vipers, they are only halfway done here. He's definitely going to lose this base, and he's just going to go for a counter-attack, it appears. No, he changed his mind. No, he didn't. Okay, he's going to do both. He's going to do both. He's going to try to defend and do the counter-attack.
Okay, that's why I don't like to set up too much of my tech production at the third base, tech buildings. Right now, sometimes you want to sacrifice the third base, And right now he's gonna lose Hydra, then he's gonna lose Evo Chamber. That's just not good. And the counter attack is not doing anything as well.
Yeah.
So it's looking better and better for INnoVation.
Yeah, we might be reaching a tilting point here where we are going to see that GG commence coming out of soO here. soO is desperately trying to hold on. The Spire is about to finish up here, but yeah, don't really see that helping out too much in this situation. And GG.
GG, well played INnoVation.
There
That
it
was
is.
a tough series for both of them.
All right. That means that we will have a conversation with INnoVation.
Mm-hmm.
I did not mean to rhyme that. Feel pretty bad about that right now. Anyway, let me open up the Twitter or the chat overall for Afrika. Anybody who does have questions right here, do make sure to put them there and let us know. And then we will have those questions being asked to INnoVation. Let me see where exactly I need to go to. Over X. Let's see, where do we find Hajin? Hajin. You know what? I'm just gonna invite Hajin
Call her or
to over here. Hajin Sun. Bloop. Wait, can I? There we go.
hello?
Hello. See if Hajin Sun is here as well. And then we can do the questions. I'm not sure if the other streams as well are supposed to join in here. I don't think they are.
No idea.
See if Hutchinson is available for us right now. That would be pretty nice. Unavailable right now. Gives me more time to come up with questions, to be fair. So what should we ask INnoVation here? Should we ask about just him continuously going mech, or?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. You know, whether he prefers bio or mech, or what are his reasons that he plays mech so much, and what does he think about making his mech a bit more complicated, right?
Oh, there we go. Another call. We can join this one.
Je vais prendre mes écouteurs.
Hello.
Hello.
Think Hajin is still a little bit busy. Sounds like. Probably trying to get INnoVation in here as well. INnoVation, I remember him not being the biggest fan of Discord.
Hello? Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yeah, we can.
Can you send the direct link to the call? He uses the browser for the Discord.
Yeah. It should be. Oh, it's not a copy paste right now. There we go. That should be it. That should be it. So yeah.
Good, thanks.
We're both like we're being a bit reluctant to have the Korean voice chat stuff, and they are being a bit reluctant to getting the Discord stuff. Right? It's two different parts of the world using different technologies.
Yeah, just he doesn't really need uses Discord.
That's true.
I sent him the link. I hope he sees it.
Right. So we'll wait for that. Anyway, how are you doing, Hutchinson? Interviewing you now.
Good. Like it was a interesting series. I haven't seen it all.
Okay.
But I thought like Ino was winning it hard at the beginning, right? Like, what was the score at the beginning of the match? What was the score?
It kind of kept going up and up. Like I think INnoVation took the first 2 games, then soO managed to win 2, and then it just kind of went tit for tat here and there, you know. Going back and forth, which was pretty cool. Really became a cool series there.
That was really good.
Let me call INnoVation because
you might not be fully aware that we are doing a winners interview here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm also kind of curious what makes him choose between Banshees or Battlecruisers. Usually he just does these types of things on a whim, though, to be fair. That was the previous time. When I interviewed him, I was like, oh, what makes you choose between the Widowmine drop or the, what was it, the Siege Tank play against Brodels, I believe. And he was just like, yeah, I don't know. Just kind of do whatever. Whatever I feel like. So, yeah.
To some extent, they probably don't want to share all their secrets that they have,
That's true, too.
I would be reluctant as well.
He's coming, but he's on his phone, so I wonder if it works. If you click on the link,
should do,
okay.
I think. I will figure it out.
Otherwise, next time, just come to Kakao Vocal. Like, if you guys have Kakao, it's like the best solution for all the Korean players.
You're gonna have to.
Well,
you're gonna have to send me
might
this.
Get it.
I think. Because I wonder how you spell cacao.
Yeah, it's Kakao, and this is the Korean WhatsApp that all the Koreans use, and there is a vocal function.
And you can use it on PC as well.
There's also there is a browser, the PC version of it. And it's so much easier to make calls, conf calls. You don't need to join anything. You just have to be friends and call. And I have all their contacts, so.
All right, makes
he's
sense.
Struggling to join right now.
Might be the phone thing.
Yeah, because he said he doesn't have a mic on his PC right now. So.
I'm looking at the Kakao thing. I think I joined the wrong one.
Kakao Talk.
Kakao Talk. Yeah, there it is. It
Yeah,
seems to be like an overall bigger company overall that does more things.
Yeah, it's pretty huge in Korea. They have their own method to pay. Like all the Koreans use it. So he needs to join. I sent him the invite. Did he join? No, I don't think so. Is he here?
No. He's not in the group call yet. Voice call on PC. Let me see if I can quickly just download this, set it up.
Yeah.
I hope downloading it doesn't interrupt the stream or anything like that.
Oh, I heard. I think he's here. 여보세요?
네, 여보세요?
Hey. Welcome, INnoVation. Congratulations.
Thank you. Hello.
Great games. All right. So, yeah. Well played indeed. soO, being a very tough opponent here for you, and we've been seeing a lot of mech play. Is this something you've transitioned into recently, or how long have you been trying to practice mech?
Or what's the reason behind going mech?
오늘 되게 재밌는 경기를 많이 보여주셨어요. 특히
네.
어윤수 선수랑 되게 막상막하인 경기였는데 오늘 이신호 선수가 메카닉 스타일을 보여줬는데 그게 최근에 메카닉 스타일로 바꾼 건가요? 그리고 이유가 있나요?
연습할 때 바이오닉을 좀 했었는데 계속 너무 이기기가 힘들어가지고 그냥 메카닉을 다시 해야겠다고 생각을 해가지고 최근에 메카닉 다시 하고 있었는데 사실 잘 모르겠어요. 뭐가 좋은지 아직.
So it's true that while I was practicing, I was playing bio a lot, but I figured it was hard to win while playing bio. That's why recently I switched to mechanics mech again, but I'm still not sure. I don't know which one is better.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because this mech style, it does seem to be a little bit like, like he does play it like bio here and there still, and we're just also wondering, like Matisse had a good question about, does he think adding Ghost into the composition would be good to EMP Vipers or maybe snipe Brute Lords and stuff like that?
In his mech build, you meant?
Yes,
yeah.
in the mech build.
지금 하는 메카닉 빌드에 유령을 더하면 어떨까요? 그러면은 이제 살모사나 그런 저그 유닛에 EMP를 맞추면은 어떨까요?
뭐 생각은 해봤었는데 뭐 이론대로만 되면 괜찮을 것 같긴 해요.
Yeah, I've already thought about it, and if everything goes as you planned, it should be okay. It should be good.
Okay, okay. Um, was he was he just feeling confident overall against soO today, or?
오늘 전체적으로 어윤수정 상대로 이길 수 있다는 자신감이 있으셨나요?
자신감은 없었는데요. 그냥 편하게 그냥 한 것 같은데 생각보다 뭐 평소보다는 좀 게임이 잘 된 것 같아요.
I wasn't that confident, but I wanted to play like relaxed, and I think everything went better than expected.
Okay, good.
And
That
so
series was still
soO
pretty close.
soO tried everything against mech today. Roach Swarmhost, Roach Hydra Viper, Lurkers, or even Ultralisks. Which do you think is the strongest or weakest style against mech nowadays?
오늘 이제 메카닉 빌드를 하시면서 상대는 뭐 바퀴도 하고 울트라리스트 하고 되게 다양한 빌드를 했는데
네.
저그 상대로, 그러니까 저그가 하는 빌드 중에 메카닉이 제일 잘 먹히는 거와 제일 안 막히는 빌드가 뭐라고 생각하시나요?
저그 빌드예요?
네, 그러니까 저그가 이걸 했을 때 메카닉이 잘 먹는다. 안 그러면은 반대로 잘 안 먹힌다.
일단은 저기가 러커 같은 거 하면 좀 어려운 것 같고 그냥 힘싸움 하려고 하면 그나마 좀 할만한 것 같아요.
그러니까 힘싸움이란 게 뭐 그냥 이제 많이 뽑아서 그냥
네,
바로
그냥 기본 유닛으로.
I think when the Zerg goes for lurkers, it's hard with the mech build. But when the Zerg just wants to fight with the basic units, it's winnable.
Okay, okay, and I think we had this question as well yesterday, but you know, with the new tournament formats and stuff like that coming up, how aware is he? Like yesterday with Zest, he wasn't fully aware. He didn't really could read into it. Does INnoVation have any opinions on the current state of events, or?
이 질문은 사실 어제도 주성욱 선수에게 물어봤는데, 최근에 블리자드에서 이제 새로운 계획을 발표를 했어요. 그 발표에 대해서 뭐 어느 정도 알고 계신가요?
네네.
그거 어떻게 생각하세요?
뭐 딱히 저는 별 생각은 없고요. 그냥 좀 방식이 기사로 보긴 했는데 좀 잘 아직은 모르겠어가지고 아직 별 생각은 없어요 개인적으로.
So I don't have any big opinion on that. So I've read some articles talking about this.
Okay.
So I'm not really aware. So I saw there was some change and new stuff, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's still a little bit up in the air as well with GSL not really being announced yet, right? I believe.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the Korean side of the announcement.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, well, let me think of another thing. Matisse, do you have any other questions here?
Well, it seems Sushi had one more. So that's how do you feel facing lurkers in TVZ while playing bio or mech?
Right.
I'm sorry, can you repeat? I was just checking Discord. Sorry.
Okay, how do you feel facing lurkers in TVZ, both while playing bio or mech?
Well, he already kind of answered the question. He said it was hard to play against lurkers when he played mech.
Okay, that's
maybe
true. Okay.
maybe does he
Yeah,
find
that's
it
fair.
easier against Locust with bio or with mech?
아까 이제 러커 상대로 맥이 힘들다고 하셨는데, 그러면은 약간 바이오로 상대하기가 그러면은 좀 더 괜찮은 건가요, 러커는?
바이오로 러커를 더 이기기가 힘들더라고요. 아예 답이 없어가지고. 그래서 최근에 다시 메카 한 거긴 한데 러커가 좀 너무 센 것 같아요 지금.
처음에 약간 답이 끊겨서 잘 안 들렸어요. 다시 말씀해 주세요.
바이오로 이기는 게 더 힘든 것 같아요 러커는.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets cut. Hello?
Did it get cut
Hello,
off?
can you hear me?
Yeah,
We
I
can hear
couldn't
you.
hear. Yeah, okay. I heard some words. So I think he
Oh.
said So the bio is, so he used to play bio,
Yeah.
but it was still hard. That's why he recently switched to mech.
Hmm.
But it's still hard. So the lurkers, they're pretty strong right now.
Okay. Yeah, that makes all
Uh-huh.
sense.
Mhm.
All right. Anyway, I think we're gonna be cutting it out there here. Thank you so much for joining us, Hajin Sun, and INnoVation as well, of course. We really appreciate it.
you.
And have a good day.
수고하셨습니다.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Good
Bye bye.
games, man. Bye bye. Right. Let me get back with Matisse here for a moment, just to say our goodbyes. Absolutely lovely stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, doing his interviews. I'm not the greatest interviewer myself, I have to admit. I'm glad that we do have the questions from Sushi to kind of rely on as well. But yeah, I mean, we did see a lot of games that were very similar in a way, right? They did have a lot of the same look and feel in a way as well. A couple of different things there, perhaps. But yeah, I guess those are good maps to be learning from. Anyway,
I think this was, both of these show matches this week and last week were very educational, right?
Yeah.
Like last time we saw how Bio can win games and how good it is, and this week we saw Mech, and I think this was very interesting series, and we can learn a lot from it, especially just to split your tanks.
Exactly. All right. Well then, thank you all for watching. Yeah, thank you, Matisse, for joining me.
Yeah,
Excuse
thanks
me.
a lot as well.
And well, I've been really Kozan. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter. Matisse, do you have any other things as well you still want to add before we turn it off?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter, Mattis Sejong, or you can message me on Discord. It's Mattis hashtag 6971. I do coaching quite a lot. I have quite nice experience. So if you feel, guys, like I explain stuff in a way that you liked or something, and you would like to take coaching from me, don't hesitate to message me. We can figure it out. It's not that expensive. I think it's, depending how you negotiate, it's around 25 bucks an hour. Maybe if you take more lessons, it could be also cheaper. And yeah, I helped tons of people to get better at StarCraft, so maybe you can be another one then.
Cool. All right, lovely stuff. So yeah, if you want to improve, hit up Matisse. And yeah, that's going to be it then for us today. Thank you for Alpha X as well for hosting these types of things. Afrika as well for Afrika TV, of course, for sponsoring us here, as well as GameStop and 24 Hour Fitness and such. All right, guys, have a good one. See you next time.